Welcome back to Cottrello Talks. This has been a two-parter in our brief series here about our favorite Pokemon of each and every type of the actual games, not the card games, because I've been collecting cards lately, and I've realized that in the card game, there's not even a bug type. What is that about? Come on, guys. Get on it. Like, it's been 20 years. Make a bug type. Anyway, Matthew, what's our next type?
The next one's going to be flying type, because we're on the back 9 now. It's like, playing 18 holes in golf. So, nice. But yeah, flying type. For me, this one was very easy, although it's not going to be easy to say because I feel a sneeze coming on. Okay. It felt like the biggest. I was like, was it the sneezing Pokemon that you were going? No, it just felt like the biggest sneeze coming. No, for me, it would be Aerodactyl. Very easy. Could have been my rock type, but because he's a flying type also, and there's not a whole lot of flying types that I love. There are a bunch of cool ones that I really like. But yeah, easy choice. Any Pokemon that's reptilian or dinosaur-like, even though what's funny is Aerodactyl's not a dinosaur because pterosaurs aren't dinosaurs. They're flying reptiles. So, if you ever called a pterosaur a dinosaur, you're wrong. What would be a Tyrannosaurus? Would that be a dinosaur or a walking reptile? So there's no such thing as a flying dinosaur or like a swimming dinosaur. Those are marine and flying reptiles. So, unless you're talking about something like Spinosaurus that like used to swim, but it's not like a plesiosaur, for example. There's something very specific that categorizes what is a dinosaur, and those don't fit that description. But anyway,
let's just change the definition.
Cool.
I mean,
is this dinosaur podcast?
Yeah,
we should start
This is Dr. Grant's talks. No, but yeah, Aerodactyl. And anything like dino themed, reptilian themed, anything like that, you're always going to get me. So very easy choice. Plus, that was back when fossils, I feel like they were a lot cooler. And usually in most games there was only the 2, but that was kind of cool about the first game is you had Kabuto and you had Omanite. And then you had Aerodactyl, on top of that. That was kind of like the big, oh my gosh, there's a third one, and
what's cool with Aerodactyl is that, I don't know how recently you guys have been through the original games, but in Pewter City, you can pay to go to the museum and you can see the fossil for Aerodactyl and some of the other fossil Pokemon. And for that to become realized, 40 hours later in the campaign is just kind of awesome.
Yeah. He's I also like the fact that he's a pseudo legendary, so to speak. I always thought those guys were cool, that they're not really legendaries, but they're kind of in that, pseudo legendary tier. But yeah, he was always like by far one of the coolest Pokemon in the first game. It's like you look at the 3 legendary birds and then you have Aerodactyl, and I'm like, man, Aerodactyl is cooler than all of them. But that's my flying pick.
I would agree with that.
So I have a question and an answer, right?
A Quancer.
Yes, I do. A Quancer, right? First and foremost, I'm tripping off of Michael because I'm reading one of his notes. And literally, we talked about electric type, and next to it, he has Fat Pikachu in his notes. This is funny to me. But the question would be, Matthew, do you feel like Aerodactyl being as epic as he was, would you have liked for him to have a Gigantamax form?
It's funny. I thought you were getting ready to ask me, would you want Aerodactyl to be fat too?
That would be funny.
Fat Aerodactyl would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
Like just a big belly. He's like the character in Dragon Ball, that big pterodactyl character. I don't know if you guys remember him from the World Tournament, but I don't think. I mean, I think it would have been cool, or it would have been fitting for a Pokemon like that, but I don't really care. I'm not really big on Gigantamax or Mega Evolutions or anything like that, especially not Mega Evolutions. Those were just terrible.
His Mega Evolution looks weird too.
Yeah,
it just looks like he got like.
Well, that's why I like
Pincers looks pretty cool.
That's why I like Gigantamaxes.
Like I love, Heracross, for example, and he's a guy that's just he looks like a Zoid after his Mega Evolution. I just not a fan, but yeah, no, I think it would have been. I think it would have been fitting if he had a Gigantamax form, but it doesn't really bother me.
Yeah, like Gigantamax Charizard is epic. Like all the Gigantamax starters look epic to me. You know what I'm saying? Like Gigantamax Butterfree. I think that was cool. The Megas, that was terrible.
Yeah, like Gigantamax Charizard's way cooler than Mega Charizard.
Yeah, any day
in my book,
any day of the week. You know what I'm saying? So
even on Sundays. We ain't no Chick-fil-A.
Quick question, but that was it. So what's next?
Austin, what's your favorite flying type?
All right, so we're gonna venture out of Gen 1 for this one. Are you proud of me? Here we go.
Gosh.
I would say Lugia from Gen 2.
Okay.
Who?
Yeah, he's been one of my favorite legendaries since, of course, seeing the movie Pokemon 2000.
Ash,
and I would love to see a remake of that movie and have him voiced by either Liam Neeson or Nicolas Cage.
That's so funny.
Nicolas Cage.
You don't remember the movie? He was like, and the whole quote from the movie, "And the world will return to ash."
So there's a lot. There's a lot to unpack with Lugia. You know me. I'm your useless trivia guy, and I got to throw in some useless trivia here. So there was during there was a politician, Herman Cain, who was running for president, and he literally quoted the Pokemon movie in one of his speeches on the campaign trail. It was just a funny thing, which, I mean, should we be able to quote Pokemon? Like, sure.
I was just going to say, I didn't know if you were going to, because sometimes people ask people to, like, politicians or famous people to say something, and they'll say it, and, like, I remember Andrew Yang said that Bowser mains are carried, and I didn't know if it was one of those.
No, he just, like, totally unprompted in a speech where he says, I believe these words came from the Pokemon movie, where he then he just like goes on to like literally quote that movie, and I mean, it's like a fair the quote was fair enough, and it was kind of a funny thing. He was it was in his speech from before he left, but anyway, he caught a lot of giggles for that. At this point, he actually passed away of COVID, so rest in peace. But it was a pretty funny little thing that happened where Pokemon sort of broke into the mainstream, and that the top comment on the YouTube video is, "We didn't deserve a president brave enough to quote Pokemon here." Which I agree.
Oh, man. But of course he's from Memphis.
But yeah, it was just such a funny thing of Pokemon, like, breaking into the mainstream. And the other funny thing about Lugia is that Lugia was an anime character. It was originally not the legendary for Silver. It was supposed to be one of those like those like Chinese lion statues. It was supposed to be something like that. But when they were making this movie, one of the anime writers created Lugia and had all these like ideas. He had a really dark past where he just a lot of like substance abuse and stuff while he was creating Lugia, and he had a bit of a falling out with the Pokemon Company and everyone, because he envisioned Lugia as a girl, and they wanted to make it like genderless with a male voice and like all this stuff. And with the popularity of the anime and the movies upcoming, they replaced the legendary with Lugia. So that's how Lugia came to be. Anyway, tell us more about why you like him.
I mean, I like him even more now knowing all that. But no, I really, I think probably experienced it most. The biggest introduction was with Pokemon 2000, and it was just a cool legendary character, very, very mystic and sleeping under the ocean, like the Titanic. And and then I played through Pokemon Silver and was very disappointed that if you played through Silver, that Ho-Oh is the stronger of the two legendaries, and vice versa. So
is Ho-Oh stronger?
I'm pretty sure
he hits harder.
I'm pretty sure it was Ho-Oh was stronger in silver than he was in gold, and vice versa with Lugia. Lugia was stronger in gold than he was in silver.
Like you can catch the other one.
You can catch them both, but yeah, starting out.
Okay, I think you find him at level 70 instead of level 45.
Yeah.
I think that's
It's a sick
gotcha.
joke.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like in stats. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, Trevor and I were about to pull up Smogan.
Yeah, we about to give you the game right quick. Hold on.
Oh man.
Yeah, I like Ho cool. a lot better than Lugia personally, but everybody likes Lugia.
Yeah, I didn't like Ho-Oh for a while. I'm like, he's just a bird with a gold thing on his head.
They're both very cool. What I like about Lugia, because I was a silver boy.
Me too.
Is the underwater aspect, like, just this like weird psychic bird living underwater is just so cool. And definitely is cool too. It's it's got that whole thing of just being like a phoenix rising from the ashes. It comes from like this burnt down tower.
Now let me
very
tell
cool as well. But Lugia, my boy, and then he has Aeroblast.
Yeah, Aeroblast.
What does that even mean?
Yeah, Aeroblast is great. That was a mistake it being a physical move though back then. But maybe special attacks weren't.
Well, it was based on type, so you can't have a special flying move.
Oh, that was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ho-Oh definitely, his picture now that I'm looking at what you're showing, definitely looks more epic back then. I will give it that.
You think Ho-Oh looks more epic?
In the silver and gold.
I think he looks like a big chicken.
He does, but that's one like epic chicken. Look at him.
That's one big chicken. That's a big Bowser.
Yeah, so I rock with it. Okay, cool.
All right, so Trevor, favorite flying type?
Okay. Here it goes.
Delibird. Okay, so we were giving Trevor so much trash in the last episode because we thought he was going to say Delibird was his favorite ice type, and he didn't. So tell us about Delibird, Trevor.
Delibird, and the funny thing about Delibird is I didn't know who he was until when I got Pokemon Stadium 2. He was one of those Pokemon that like I think you like will rent or whatever, or you can just play with, and just seeing his moves in that game, like his signature move, which I think was Present or something like that.
Yep.
It could damage somebody, and sometimes it would also like even heal somebody. It was just very interesting. I thought like, what is this Pokemon? He's like, I don't know, this Santa delivery kind of. I don't know what he is. It's just delivery kind of Pokemon. I just thought he was cool. And of course, as we learn when we get older, Pokemon we may have loved when we were kids, we realize, oh wow, they were terrible. Kind of terrible. This is how much they didn't like Delibird. When they brought about hidden abilities, his hidden ability is literally the same as his original ability.
What's his original ability?
You can't fall asleep.
Gosh.
Look up Insomnia and look up in Vital Spirit.
He's so bad. He's untiered on Smogan. Like they don't put him in a tier. That's how bad he is.
Yeah.
He's like as bad as K. Rool is in Smash.
K. Rool isn't that bad in Smash.
I know, I'm salty.
But yeah, no, I do like him as a Pokemon though. If they were to come out with another Gold and Silver remake, I would be playing with Delibird.
Would you say he's your favorite?
Favorite flying type?
No, like favorite Pokemon ever.
No.
Oh, okay.
Favorite Pokemon maybe in like
Have we heard your favorite Pokemon yet?
Blaziken.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Blaziken. Sorry, that's my guy. I love Blaziken. Listen, the disrespect that he got the last episode. He's like a dojo master. Give him a break. Yeah, he's a dojo chicken master. Don't hate on him, man. He's doing his thing, living his life, trying to be the best he could be. Hater.
Delibird is awesome, though.
Delibird is cool.
He's such a cool type. And so, like I said earlier, I've been getting into the Pokemon cards. I'm trying to get. This is like kind of blasphemy for the TCG, but instead of like collecting sets, I'm trying to just get one of every Pokemon to start with, and I was organizing them, and I got a Delibird card, and he is number 225, which is interesting in the Pokédex. Same day as Christmas, 25.
Wow,
thought that was cool, and he's just like these little penguin Santa. Like he's so dumb, but so great at the same time.
I love him. Now he's somebody who should have got a Mega Evolution. Because he was just that bad. Give him some kind of form of...
Yeah, or just some kind of interesting ability. It's it's funny because, like, sure, he's got terrible stats, but, like, so does Smeargle. And Smeargle's, like, you know, can be one of the most broken Pokemon in the right circumstances. So, you know, it's just, sometimes it's all about, getting a cool ability or something.
Mawile, terrible. Mega Mawile had huge power. Made it uber.
Yeah. Yeah, like, probably the best Mega Evolution Pokemon. One of the top 3.
Facts. That, him, or he, or whatever, whichever gender it will be. But Mega Mawile, Mega Kangaskhan, and Mega Metagross, maybe? Top 3.
Yeah.
You know, just broken. So, yeah, man, no, I mean, yeah, but I love that Pokemon, even though he's terrible. Like, you know, what's my other flying? Not Feraligatr. Why am I thinking of Feraligatr? The bird from the first gen that I said was mine.
Well, I don't know what you're talking
about. The normal and flying type that I chose for my favorite normal type. You know what? Okay, give me a second. 5, 4, 3. Farfetch'd, Michael.
Farfetch'd, okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, Farfetch'd is terrible, but I still love him. That's still my guy. So is Delibird. So shout out to Delibird.
Shout out to Delibird. My favorite flying type is Cramorant. Which also fun piece of trivia about the flying type itself. Did you know that there's only 3 pure flying types in the entire game? Out of over 800 Pokemon, there's only 3 pure flying types: Tornadus, Rookidee, and Corvisquire.
Tornadus was runner up for me.
So anyway,
flying type.
Thought that was funny. Cramorant is the definitive flying type. He is the superior flying type to every flying type that's ever existed.
Why? Because he can hold a Pikachu in his mouth?
He's hilarious. Just the way that he looks. Like, I mean, just look at him. You look at a still picture of him, you're like, that's hilarious. I want to be friends with this guy. Why are his wings so small? He looks like a bird that's bad at flying. And his shiny color, my boy, his shiny color is the same color as Kazooie. And
that's funny.
That's got to be planned. Oh, I'm just finding out there's a shiny Cramorant card. I need that. For 25 cents, I'm buying that today.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, Cramorant is so cool. And you know, besides from being just like having the funniest appearance and everything, inside of the games, he's got a lot of fun gameplay mechanics where he has this ability called gorging that's exclusive to him. So whenever you use Surf or Dive, he will come back with a fish in his mouth, or he'll come out with a Pikachu in his mouth because he's trying to eat my boy. And then if you hit him, he just vomits whatever he's in the middle of eating out at you and hits you for like 25% damage and possibly paralyzing you.
Yeah, hits you with that yerp.
It's so funny. And like I just I've grown to like him so much. He's definitely my favorite 8th gen character. And I am just absolutely ecstatic that he's going to be playable in Pokemon Unite. Like, he's probably going to be my main guy in that game.
No, he's nice. A cool Pokemon. I mean, that's one thing about Gen 8. Gen 8 gets a lot of flack, but some of the Pokemon they had in Gen 8 are some of the best Pokemon they've had in a long time, if not ever.
Yeah, I mean, pound for pound, it's the best Pokemon generation since 4. I mean, since 3 probably. Even.
No, way. What? Are you just better than 5?
Isn't bad, bro. 5 has some cool
I don't want to
Pokemon.
get into like whole debate about that, but I think that's crazy. I think
that's a different Cottrello Talks episode where we create a tier list of generations.
Yeah, for me, I feel like Gen 8 seems a lot cooler than, like, I don't want to say cooler than it is, but I feel like because 6 and 7 were so abysmal that like 8 just seems really good. But I don't know, 8 is like, it is one of the better ones we've had in some time, but I feel like for me, it's more so the art style. I just think the art style just doesn't lend itself well to, making Pokemon look as cool as possible. But I think there's definitely some cool guys in that game. But, you know, when I think of like the first 5, to me, nothing like in Gen 8 even comes close. But there's some guys I definitely like in that game. Like Appleton's a guy I like love, you know, but anyway.
I think Cramorant, I wouldn't change anything about him, even animation. Like, I think he's somebody who they absolutely got right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, you know, if he existed in the old games, they'd probably just add more texture to his drawing. But it's like, we don't get that anymore. So sorry.
Yeah. Well, I guess we can move on to the next type, which is psychic. Which
Lego.
This one's I kind of have two choices for this because I don't know if I haven't done any legendaries, and so if I'm gonna go legendary, it would be Mewtwo. Because Mewtwo is just awesome. Like, he's just a great Pokemon. The fact that he's not even really a Pokemon, he's like a genetic creation of another Pokemon. I find that to be really fascinating. Just the fact that he's the result of a science experiment gone wrong. But if I wasn't doing legendary, it'd probably actually be a Rangaroo. Like, you can't go wrong with the apes. Ape, ape strong. But I guess if Austin did Lugia, so I guess legendaries aren't off the board.
Yeah,
so I'd probably
count.
say Mewtwo. But he's just a great Pokemon. There's not really anything in particular to say about him. The fact that he's also been prominently featured in most spin-off games too, like in Super Smash Bros. Pokken. He's been in everything, and I think that helps. Build popularity for the character. The fact that he was the headline for the first movie that they did. But I remember when he wasn't in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, like, that felt like such a glaring omission. I remember there were so many people that weren't even upset about what guys we didn't get in the game. They were just upset that we didn't get Mewtwo back. Because Lucario wasn't bad, but he just wasn't Mewtwo, and I remember when everybody started modding Brawl, that was the first thing everybody did, is they put Mewtwo in the game, or they found a way to do it, and that just kind of spoke to how great a Pokemon he is. So that would probably be my choice.
Yeah, Mewtwo's definitely in that trifecta of most popular Pokemon. Like, if you look at the starter kit for the trading card game, I bought one of these pieces today to play with my kids at some point. They give you 3 decks in that thing, and it's all about Pikachu, Charizard, and Mewtwo, and those are the 3 Pokemon that you just see over and over and over and over and over again. If there's a spin-off, they're probably the ones in the game. Smash 4, all 3 of them were in that. Pokken, it's just like, Mewtwo's such an important character to the Pokemon franchise, and I think that's cool and well deserved, because honestly, like, he is one of the coolest Pokemon. The lore that's behind him in how he was created, and in the way that they tell that story in the games is one of the best ways to deliver lore in a video game, where it's like, it's there if you want it. If not, then there's just this spooky guy in a cave that you're trying to catch who's like super powerful. But if you look at all that information in the context of where you're at, you go to the Pokemon mansion that's been burned down, and you're seeing all these Dittos everywhere and hearing about these failed experiments to clone Mew. It's just so fascinating. And then of course the movie helped to kind of boost his popularity as well. And have you guys seen the remake of the movie on Netflix?
Oh yeah,
it's pretty fun. The animation looks I don't know. It's a weird thing. Some people have not figured out 3D animation, and some of the stuff that comes like the Dragon Quest and Pokemon specials is just like, I
don't know. I like the way it looks.
I appreciate it. It was like a shot remake.
The facial animations of the characters don't look super clean. Like, nowhere near the level of like Pixar or anything. And it's weird because even like Studio Ghibli hasn't quite figured out 3D for like humans, but the Pokemon look fantastic. I will say that much.
The humans look like Pokemon.
Yeah, they look a little plastic.
I was gonna say,
Mewtwo's awesome.
With the Pokemon Mansion stuff, I one of my favorite things probably actually my favorite thing in Red and Blue is when you go to that mansion and you start finding the diary entries of kind of cataloging where things started to go bad and how eerie and dark it was. And I feel like Pokemon used to not be afraid to, do that. And I don't know, it just that's part of what adds to the allure of Mewtwo or makes him even cooler. So that was always one of my favorite aspects about him that I forgot about. But yeah, so that's my pick.
Yeah, he's pretty epic. So which Mega Evolution did you choose when?
I don't know, dude. I don't even remember what they look like, man. I don't care about Mega Evolutions.
They both look pretty weird.
Dude, everything in X and
they both look pretty weird.
Everything in X and Y in Sun and Moon is a complete blur to me, man. Like, those games just did not stick for me. But
you remember that armor that he had in the original movie was cool.
Yeah,
that would have been a cool form to eventually bring to Pokemon. But the other thing I'll say about Mewtwo is, man, he was so bad in Melee. He was like one of the worst characters. Just awful stats and hurtbox. It's really kind of funny because Pikachu's way better than him. Even Pichu is like on the same level of just being awful as Mewtwo. But at one point, there was one summer that we were all in the same place, and I just made it my mission to get good with Mewtwo, and we were like just playing tons of matches at Trevor's place, and I perfected the move he had where he had this glitch on the battlefield stage where he could pull people through the floor. You could still recover after that most of the time, but if you caught someone off guard, it was like one of the funniest things. But Mewtwo's such a special character.
Oh yeah, OG. Like OG
I don't
legendary.
remember if we visited that summer, but I do remember getting just totally taken for a ride when you played Mewtwo, and it was a dramatic experience for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was that one summer, man, where we entered in as boys and we became men.
Oh yeah,
we got into the competitive Smash and Pokemon elements.
Yeah,
that's when I got my first party, my Pikachu and my Meganium. I was dumb back then too. I don't know. There's something in my brain where like I see that a character's bad and I know that I'm gonna lose with them if I stick it with them, and I'm just like, I'm doing it anyway.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go back to this summer in just a minute. Don't you worry about it.
All right, Austin, psychic type.
Okay,
there you go.
I like Kadabra, just right there in the middle of Abra and Alakazam. But
really?
Kadabra's probably my favorite.
I like him
psychic
too.
Pokemon. Yeah.
What's that weird bulbous thing on his back? Like, it's cool.
I don't know. I think he's like a camel, and he, carries psychic water in it.
Well, it's like he's kind of like a bug at the same time as he is a mammal. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Abra looks like Frieza.
He does, yeah. I'm pretty sure he's like Frieza's nephew or something like that. And then he grows a mustache. And, although, yes, he perfects a mustache as Alakazam, I think Kadabra gets my win on favorite psychic.
Well,
Pokemon.
The funny thing about Kadabra is that he's strong enough on his own. Like, look at his stats right quick, Mike. Go up.
Where's his stats?
His stats are right there.
Okay.
105 in speed, 120 in special attack.
Goodness gracious. Are you kidding me?
He's great all by himself. He doesn't even technically need to evolve.
He's got better stats than Delibird.
I mean, that's a fact. Like, no lie. He will sweep Delibird like it's nobody's business unless Delibird actually gets an attack on him or something because he has terrible defense. But no, he's actually a great Pokemon by himself. Like, Alakazam is just, icing on top of the cake.
I don't know the stats, but just looking at him, I think one of the reasons I like him is it's like he just looks like he can just tear you apart with his psychic abilities, but he could also tear you apart just by, going whole fisticuffs and getting you.
Yeah.
He's scary.
Did you guys ever hear about that that thing that happened with the what's it called? Oh wait, yeah, here's the deal. Kadabra hadn't been printed as a card since 2003, and it was the result of this some legal disputes with a guy named Uri Geller, who's like a psychic who bends spoons and stuff, and he claims that Kadabra is a parody of him and was like threatening legal stuff. But on November 28th of 2020, he announced that he's going to drop everything, and Nintendo can now they can now print Kadabra again.
I had heard about that
because for like decades they allowed Abra to evolve into Alakazam in the card game. For like whatever, because of that reason. That's insane to me. That's quite insane.
So is next on my list is to find a Pokemon that resembles me most, and then I'll start disputing Nintendo that it's based off of me.
Yeah, which I guess I don't know if I don't know if, like, I guess he must have had a pretty strong case if Nintendo didn't want to, or, you know, the Pokemon company didn't want to print cards for like 2 decades for doing it. Where it's like, you know.
I'm sorry. I don't understand how a Pokemon
60 million
can be based off of a person to an extent that you could sue them that it's in your likeness.
Yeah, I mean, every country has different legal systems. Like here in the U.S., that would be, you know, A-OK. But
True.
But you know, when it gets international, laws are weird. You know, it's like I can. Trevor's been modding his Game Boy, and if he wanted to, he could pay someone to mod his Game Boy, and that's like totally legal here in the U.S. In Japan, the person providing that service can get sued into oblivion, and so, you know, it's stuff like that. But that's always been wacky. So I imagine the Kadabra cards are going to be quite valuable for a while. But yeah, super cool Pokemon. He just looks weird, delightfully strange.
Yeah.
Trevor, who's your favorite psychic type?
Oh man, so initially I was gonna say my red and blue guy, which was Hypno. But as I put in that name, I'm like, wait a minute, there's somebody. Let me go through the list of psychics. Trevor, how dare you? Michael, you know how hard I was championing trying to get Deoxys in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Deoxys has to be my favorite psychic type of all time. He's a secret psychic type that's in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald. And he has these 3 different forms, and he transforms into a different form depending on the game in which you get him in. I think is it Ruby, he's in attack form. I think Sapphire, he's in defense form. And in Emerald, he's in speed form. Though that's usually the form that you battle him in. And I don't know, I just think that's so cool. Like this Pokemon that's strong on his own, and you can choose the way in which he can fight. Like defense, it has what I think is it 160 in both stats, 160 in both defenses. And I think the attack has like 160 in both attacks, and then the speed form is like 180 in speed. Am I right?
Yeah, 180 in speed.
And then oh wow.
Defense is 160 in each.
And the attack form is just super cheap. The attack form is 180 in both attacks and 150 in speed, and 20 in both defenses.
As long as he doesn't get hit with
anything.
Quick attack.
But listen, man, all you need is a focus sash and you're going to be straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to be super good. And then the regular form actually has, 150 in both attacks and 150 in speed. So, like, just a really cool, just by himself. And, you know, Deoxys is short for deoxyribonucleic acid, which is DNA.
Whoa!
So, yeah, no, man, just really cool Pokemon. So he represents DNA. And you have to go through this whole secret thing in order to even unlock them in the first place. The only way I was able to do it, honestly, was Michael had an action replay and I was able to transport myself to the island. And then that's...
Well, because you had to have some, like, event thing where you had to go to a Toys R Us in 1955 or something to actually do it in the legit way.
Facts.
But yeah, with a little bit of action replay, which is also banned in Japan, funny enough, you can actually do it.
Yeah, man.
I always liked this guy, and I think he could have been he would be a really cool Smash character. I mean, you think of like Pyra and Mithra, how they, change form, and they're basically the same, but they have like a couple different attacks and their stats change. This would work exactly the same, but way cooler.
When he does his shield, he could just turn into defense mode. Like, I can think of a whole
instead of an anime waifu, of which there are many, you have this weird DNA creature. Yeah. He's super creepy in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. When you go and catch him, there's like a million clones of him and you don't know which one's the real one, so you're just searching through the whole map and you just get blitzed by the real one at some point. He's a super fun character.
Yeah, he's great. When he runs, he can be in speed form. When he attacks, he can attack in attack form. Like, I'm telling you, they could have made a whole moveset. I'm sorry, no shade to Lucario, but he would have been cooler than Lucario. Like,
absolutely.
Sorry, like, no shade, but listen, nah.
But they had to promote that other movie. Just the Pokemon characters that can get in Smash are such a weird case of timing. Where it's like if Smash was coming out like 6 months after, then we probably would have got a Galar Pokemon instead of a Sun and Moon. But that's how a yay old cookie crumbles.
Yeah, man. And he had I think that's his signature move, Psycho Boost.
Psycho Boost.
It's a psychic move, so it's like overheat. It like once he does that move, it lowers his special attack, but it's like 140 in power. Double check that for me. But
it's gonna make a dad joke about marriage with that.
Psycho Boost.
My wife uses Psycho Boost sometimes. Yeah, signature move, Psycho Boost.
Yeah, I'm like, am I tripping or am I right? I think I was right. Yeah.
All right. So, Matthew, any commentary on Deoxys?
Nope. But Austin just sent me a picture of a fat Aerodactyl, and I'm in love. Dude,
we should redesign.
Awesome.
Dude, let's
next Cottrello merch item.
Let's do a thing on our Instagram. We haven't posted anything on our Instagram, but let's do a thing where every day we draw a Pokemon fat in the spirit of Fat Pikachu, and then when we get to Pikachu, he's like enormous.
But
I'm down.
What's your favorite psychic type, Michael?
Matthew, you know what my favorite psychic type is?
A Rangaroo?
Is that boy a Rangaroo? Is that boy a Rangaroo? Like, it's not even a contest. A Rangaroo is the coolest Sun and Moon Pokemon, I think. He's just like, he lives in the forest. He has this cool little like fan, and in the anime he runs this little like berry shop where he makes like smoothies and stuff, where he helped one of the characters' fathers like run a smoothie shop. He's just a cool Pokemon. You take an orangutan and you just kind of like, it looks like kind of like an animal with wisdom, and then they just kind of like, give it like a little psychic showl and a little fan. He's just so cool. And gameplay wise, he's also awesome. He's I think the only normal psychic type. There might be like one or two others, but it gives him a absolute immunity to Ghost, which is cool because that's one of Psychic's weaknesses. And he's got these interesting abilities where he's got telepathy, where he can power. What does telepathy do?
He doesn't get hit.
He doesn't get hit by
attacks.
stuff like Earthquake. Like if my teammate uses Earthquake, he doesn't get hit.
Or
but he's also got a special move called Instruct, where if I use a really powerful move with one of my Pokemon, I can use Instruct, and a Rangaroo will tell that Pokemon to use the move again. So super fun, super cool Pokemon, and I'm all about the monkey Pokemon, all about them.
Yeah, no, he looks like he could be a Donkey Kong character. I love him.
Yeah, I like him a lot. What's our next type?
Talk to me, Matt.
The bug type, which for me, that one was super easy too. Heracross, just this big beetle. Bug and fighting is a pretty cool mix too, but bug types just back then were super undervalued. They were always like the Pokemon type that were front loaded at the front of the game. That just weren't good Pokemon. They were just meant for you to battle at the beginning to get experience, or to catch guys early on, that you weren't going to be using for very long. But he was probably the first bug type that was really good. Even though he has, some weaknesses, like he has a quad weakness to flying, things like that. But he's just a really cool Pokemon, just a big beetle that stands on two legs. Like, you just can't beat it. He's one of my favorites, or just favorite Pokemon in general. So
awesome.
Yeah, I like Heracross a lot too. He seems like the kind of the second gen version of Pinsir, where it's like, you're right, where usually there's a few weak bug types at the beginning of the game, but then later on you run into something like Pinsir with a base attack of like 125, and he just comes in, just rocks your world. And Heracross is, oh man, and I'm seeing that mega form.
Yeah, I liked his mega form. His mega form doesn't look that great, but I did like his ability.
He looks
and
like a Mega Man character.
He does.
Yeah, no,
he does.
He looks
like
stupid.
Not a great one either.
I forgot about Pinsir and Scyther, though. They're actually pretty decent, but it feels like for the first couple of games, like bug types in general were just not very good types.
Yeah, like, well, Yeah, generally not. But then there's some like fringe cases where like Venomoth and Parasect, it's like, well, you could kind of use them if you really tried. And then Scyther and Pinsir are like, okay, like, you know, actually getting some love on the stats. But, you know, actually in second gen, that's when Heracross was I think one of the best bug Pokemon in that generation. I think he was actually he was in the top tier outside of Ubers. Because that Mega Horn, my boy, was his like signature move, 120 base power, bug move. Yikes!
Yeah. So that would be my guy. He's I remember I cheated in Pokemon Go. I spoofed my location just so I could get Heracross. So whenever I go to gyms, I love putting.
What country did you have to go to?
You just have to go to the southern. Like it's weird. He exists in the middle of the globe, so. Like, you can find him in, like, Florida and Texas, but you can't find him anywhere else in the U.S. But then you can find him in northern parts of South America and Africa and places like that. Because I went to Africa, too, to get Tropius. So I just love putting guys like Tropius and Heracross in gyms, and then people were just like, what? Like, how?
What? How did you do? Yeah, I haven't ever. I'm never gonna spoof in that, but I do want to complete my Pokédex. So I'm gonna look like an idiot. I bought a $500 plane ticket so I can catch a Pokemon.
No, it's one of those things. It's just Pokemon.
I thought we found Heracross in Florida, though. I think we found him when we were in Florida, though.
Yeah. Well, the thing is the reason. I spoofed is just because I knew those are some of my favorite Pokemon like Tropius and Heracross, but my thing too is that Pokemon Go is a lot more fun depending on where you're playing it. Like the Cape in South Africa is one of the most fun places to play that game, and then Sydney, Australia is awesome too. So it's just it's kind of weird, cheating in the game, but when you just see how much more rewarding and fun it is in other places, it's almost hard to go back, but I haven't played Pokemon Go in a while now, but yeah, I just had to get those guys. But anyway,
the funny thing is that in Australia you can just play real Pokemon Go just go catch a Gila monster or something.
Catch an armadillo,
Gila monster,
or a Komodo dragon.
Yeah, Australia's
got lots of Pokemon there.
Australia's a funny place, man. It's a place where crocodiles eat sharks. I mean, like, I was watching a documentary on that, and I was just blown away. That I'm like, this place is hilarious, man. But anyway, what's your
absolutely
unless you're the shark?
Yeah. What's your favorite bug type, Austin?
I bet you can't guess.
Caterpie.
It's Caterpie.
It's Scyther.
Scyther. Oh yeah, because that was your favorite grass type.
Yeah,
right?
I thought he was a grass type. So I probably don't deserve to have him be my favorite bug type.
That's cool. No, Scyther's awesome.
But no, I like Scyther. He's like he's based off of a praying mantis, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and I freaking adore praying mantis. I'm not a big bug person. I don't like many bugs, but man, praying mantis, they are the coolest. And so naturally Scyther's just, and I might love praying mantis because of Scyther, honestly.
Yeah.
So
Scyther and Pinsir
he's just so cool. He's like,
no, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, you're good. It kind of cut out. Scyther just has like blade arms. It's like, okay, swords for arms. He looks cool. And if he gets ketchup on his eyes, then he is going to go on a rampage. So,
see, me and Michael, we are a part of the minority that thinks Scizor is cooler. Matthew absolutely disagrees with us.
Oh, it's very close for me, though. It's like 55-50. I really like Scyther, too.
Like Scyther and Mr. Krabs had a baby, and I'm like, I'm not really all for that.
He really does look like that.
Gosh.
Me boy.
My gosh, leave him alone.
Oh, my gosh.
But he's cool, though.
I cannot unsee that now.
No, I can't.
I just think Scizor
He's got the exact same claws.
Yar.
I just think Scizor is... like, I don't know. I feel like I can, like, there's so many things I can think of from other video games or cartoons that look like Scizor, but I've never seen anything like Scyther. he's such a cool Pokemon. I mean, honestly, he might be one of the coolest Pokemon of all time. Like he's just a really good design, and Scizor to me is just like he just looks like a robot. You know, like I don't know. I just could care less.
Like robots.
I mean,
somebody was watching too much SpongeBob when they designed him.
It's the same thing as Steelix and Onyx, where I'm like, Onyx is just way cooler to me than Steelix. You know, get those SpongeBob teeth out of here, man. Those like square
you always
teeth.
hate teeth. Steelix looks cool.
The teeth.
No, true, Matthew.
No, on him they look stupid because they gave him like squares for teeth, which is just like they look like SpongeBob's front teeth. Like I'm not against if they gave him like the teeth they give DK, if they gave him some like normal teeth, but those like squares for teeth look so dumb. They're not even funny.
Why you hating on people with a gap? Leave them alone.
No, it's not a gap. I don't think he has a gap. He just has square teeth, which is just a funny looking thing. Like square teeth just look goofy because nobody has square teeth. Scyther's awesome. Scyther and Pinsir both are really, really cool Pokemon. But yeah, so he would have been like if it wasn't for Heracross, it'd be Pinsir.
If you want to see like a really cool, like version of Scyther, there's in the what was it called, the Pokemon Origins series they did on I think you have to find it on like Hulu or the Pokemon app or something like that, but I think Red has a Scyther that he uses in the Pokemon League that like runs on the ceiling. It's like Scyther is super cool because it's like this weird combination of like a praying mantis, but like also kind of like a lizard. And the way he's animated in some of the games is really cool too. Like in Pokemon Stadium, he has this like very low stance. Probably one of the top 5 most terrifying Pokemon if they were in real life. Like that, Scyther is terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, and that's what it's like. The whole praying mantis thing is like praying mantis. If they are any bigger, they are like the apex predator. They would destroy. I think of that. Was that what's that game with the monster? Is it Destroy
All Monsters?
Destroy All Monsters, where there's like the giant.
No, it's Matthew. What's that game
called?
War
of the Monsters.
The PS2 one that Zach
Rampage?
That War of the Monsters.
War of the Monsters. Yeah, War of the Monsters. That praying mantis. But now I'm just getting off on a tangent about.
Or Scyther, dude. Scyther's Gen 5 animation. Oh, that low stance that he has, and it's so sad. We just have to go on a brief aside here and just like pour a drink out for the homies. Like, the graphics on Pokemon, especially the animations, are so stiff, and they just do not do a good service. Like Scyther looks lifeless in every game since 6th gen. But look at his 5th gen sprite, and you're like, oh man, he's got that low stance. He's ready to hunt. He's so cool. But anyway,
yeah, even the one before that, like I don't know, look how he's standing in Emerald and everything on Fire Red.
Yeah,
you know, it's just like wow, he got something.
Yeah, let's go back to sprites in Pokemon if you don't mind. If we're not gonna brush up the graphics, let's just go back to sprites. I'll just use the Gen 5 sprites again. I'll be good with that. Trevor, bug type.
This is hard for me a little bit. Well, no, not really. I kind of had to think about it, but I'm like, who do I really rock with? I think for me, mine would be
the fire and bug type.
Who's arguably probably my what?
The fire and bug type, the moth.
You just wouldn't let me say it. The fire.
Is that your favorite?
Yeah, Volcarona is my favorite.
Oh man, I know Trevor so well, man.
Yeah,
that's like
Volcarona,
3 for 3.
Cool. Like he's like my favorite 5th gen Pokemon, probably. Like I love Volcarona. He's really cool, and then he has his own signature move. I forgot the name of it.
Should have called him Volcamothra to make it a little more on the nose.
Michael just scrolled past it, but he has his own signature move that increases his special attack. In certain circumstances and everything. Just really cool Pokemon. Like I even like his first form, Larvesta. You know, just I'm like, who is this Pokemon? It takes him a while to evolve. I think he doesn't evolve until like level 33.
That's where I'm like, but, man, you know, he's another guy that you look at Gen 5. That's why I'm like, but that's blasphemy to me to compare Gen 8 to Gen 5. I'm like, dude, Gen 5 had so many good Pokemon. It's not even funny. Like
I mean, Gen 8 had some really cool ones.
Yeah, but no, definitely. I think it's just Gen 5, the starters are so abysmal that it's like, it kind of, but I can think of so many guys like that big frog Seismitoad. I think he's super cool.
Yeah,
the big turtle Caracosta,
you like
Archeops,
Caracosta? Yeah.
The moth you were just talking about. There's so many good Pokemon in that game.
Oh,
but anyway,
the ice cream cone Pokemon.
No, okay, you're talking about the bad ones, Mike.
Gothitelle looking all weird.
Okay.
No, you gotta go look.
Maractus.
You gotta look through 5th gen again, man. Like
Darmanitan.
It's really
Don't sleep on Darmanitan. Your favorite
That's the
guy.
generation that ruined competitive play by introducing Whimsicott and Landorus.
He just hating. He's looking at the bad stuff.
Play forever.
He knows that some of his favorite Pokemon are in this generation. You love your guy right there, Darmanitan. Who else do you like? I feel like didn't you like Scrappy?
They had those monkeys like Simisage, Simisear, Simipour.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like they also had
Crocodile.
They also had some of the worst, like
Scolipede?
like remember Pat Rat?
You remember
when they made a candle?
I just
remember
saw
when
Pat
they made
Rat,
a candle a
and he's one of my new
Pokemon?
favorites.
You remember when they made a Snowflake a Pokemon?
But
you remember when they made Gears a Pokemon?
But wait a minute, and I like Chandelure. We've had this conversation before, and it actually has a really cool backstory.
But there's guys like Crustle. Like, I don't know. There's so many good Pokemon in this game.
And then they were running out of ideas toward the end of the Pokédex. So they were like, oh, let's make a King Ghidorah Pokemon. Oh, let's make a Mothra Pokemon.
No, there's
Those
like...
are cool
there's
Pokemon.
like
and then for the legendaries, oh, let's make a Yu-Gi-Oh Pokemon.
No, there's like...
Oh
there's like Galvantula, there's Electros, Haxorus. Like, bro, you're crazy.
Yo, Reshiram is a
Heatmore.
Reshiram is a Yu-Gi-Oh monster.
Yeah, okay, but you're saying that, but you can, like, those 3 birds were pretty cool. Tornadus, Thundurus, and Landorus are pretty cool Pokemon.
I don't care about any of them, but I just think
I know you don't, but I think they have the highlights of their generation are like epic, and they're in the conversation of some of the greatest. And you can't knock that just because they had some fluffs as well. I mean, yeah, okay.
I'm just saying. We'll argue about this in a tier list. We'll rank them.
Yeah, like Darmanitan's one of your favorite fire types.
I'm just saying, like, that's where I'm coming from when I say Gen 8.
No, it was the beginning of the end. I will say that. It was that. And, Who's oh yeah, me. I said Volcarona. Yeah, Volcarona is my dude. Like you said.
Volcarona.
Yeah, man, he had his own like signature move, really cool bug and fire type. I mean, yeah, I really rock with him a lot. Like runner up, no, I don't have a runner up. It's just Volcarona.
My favorite bug type has to be Parasect.
Got him pulled up right now.
Parasect is super cool, where you find him like buried deep within Mount Moon, where it's dark and moist. And he's like this hermit crab with he starts out as Paris with the mushroom growing on top of his back, and it's like, oh, that's a cute little crab with the mushroom growing on its back. The mushrooms take over, and they nearly consume the entire crab when it evolves into Parasect. So this is a phenomenon that happens in nature known as the cordyceps. Where fungus sort of infects the exoskeleton of bugs and eventually breaks into them, and they become kind of zombified. It's the closest thing to like real life zombies that we have, where these mushrooms will like drain the nutrients and control the bugs that they are infecting, and like that's just too freaking cool. That's such an awesome thing that they did with Parasect. And so he's a Gen 1 Pokemon. The only person who learned Spore for generations was 100 accuracy sleep move. So he's just this weird zombie bug that can put you to sleep and then use leech life out of you to suck all the nutrients out of you out of your corpse. But, like, he's super creepy and super fun, and yeah, it's just such a cool Pokemon.
Yeah, he was definitely somebody in my party when I played as a kid. He was the one. Unfortunately, what Michael used to call him, just basically my HM person. Like, flash, cut. Like, it had all those moves to make sure I could get wherever I wanted in red and blue. But Paris and Parasect was like really cool to me.
Yeah, good episode of the cartoon as well.
Oh, yeah, I don't know what...
that's one of the few that I still have on VHS.
Oh, look at that.
Parasect's awesome.
Yeah, Just one of the coolest. Every time I run through Gen 1 again, I have to pick up one of those guys in Mount Moon. And it was extra fun because I think in Red and Blue, Bug type was super effective against poison. I think that's how it worked. But yeah, he's super fun to use in the first game. What's our next type, Matthew?
That's going to be rock type here, which for me, you guys all know I love my ground types and my rock types, but I think, my favorite rock type is Rhydon. I just love, he's just this rock dinosaur thing. Like, I really love the way that he's designed. I was pretty disappointed with Rhyperior. Like, he's still kind of cool. He's grown on me over the years, but definitely doesn't have anything on Rhydon. But and I know Rhydon was like one of the first Pokemon ever created, so that's pretty cool.
Yes.
But yeah, so no, he that would be my favorite rock type. It was also really cool with Rhydon too that like physically he's just like a dominant force, but then like specially he's horrible, and just kind of a he serves one purpose and one purpose only, but yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, Rhydon, you can find him littered throughout the concept art of the pitch for Pokemon. So before it was greenlit to be a game, they had some like monsters out. So some of the earliest ones were Rhydon, Venusaur, Lickitung, Kangaskhan, Slowbro, Nidoking, Gengar, Grimer. Those are some of the earliest Pokemon that were ever created, and Rhydon is the first one that appears in that drawing. So he could be the first Pokemon ever created, and definitely embodies the early Kaiju-inspired direction of Pokemon that we see, especially in first gen. Very, very, very cool Pokemon. And that's also why people speculate he has one of the widest move pools in the game, is because he's he was designed before rock types existed, so the rock and ground type came later in his design, so he can learn like almost any move. I remember in Pokemon Stadium he just like had all these nonsensical crazy moves like thunder and surf, and he can learn pretty much all of them.
Wow.
It's like a legendary.
Yeah, no, he's really awesome. So which, for me, it's like, was it him or Aerodactyl?
Playing,
but because Aerodactyl's a flying type, I get to
playing Let's Go.
Use him that way.
Yeah. No, he's pretty mondo cool. I remember playing Let's Go. When you would be in a cave or whatever, and you would like, you would get a whole, I forgot what you call it, when you would like catch the same Pokemon over and over and over, so you could get better stats and stuff like that, and more Pokemon candies and all the other kind of stuff. The higher up you went, the more rare Pokemon came out in that area. And man, I would have a whole like a 80 streak going. If I saw a Rhydon, I'd be tempted to break that whole streak just to catch that Rhydon. Like, he just looks so cool in Let's Go and stuff like that. Really, really amazing Pokemon. And I've never been on the Rhydon kind of like train like that. I mean, I never played with him when I was a kid, but respect is respect, and you got to give respect to a Pokemon like that. He's pretty great.
Yeah, he was also really good in the first handful of generations, where he's in the upper tiers up until Gen 4, where everything changed.
It's always funny when it comes to a competitive play, because Matthew loves Rhydon more than Rhyperior, but Rhyperior, you have to choose him because he's just better.
Yeah, but the cool thing about Rhydon though is you can use Eviolite on him, which is actually supposed to be pretty decent for him, because he's already a pretty good Pokemon.
His base stat in defense is 120, and you're doubling that, so it's like, holy cow, that's
yeah,
I don't know if it's doubling
because
it. But
the thing is Rhydon was always designed to be like the final form, and so like he can still be good in his own right, but then with that item, I know he can be usable.
Yeah, because Rhyperior looks silly.
He does look silly.
Yeah,
but,
he's like
a goofy looking thing.
Gen 4 had a bunch of Mega Man looking evolutions for the first gen.
Yeah, they turned him into Mega Man characters.
Like Electivire, Magnetar, Licky, Rhyperior.
Yeah, in tournament play, listen, I hear what you're saying, but in tournament play, when it comes between Rhydon and the Eviolite or Rhyperior with a weakness policy, people are picking Rhyperior with a weakness policy. because he's going to sweep a whole.
Yeah.
Sorry. Listen, numbers don't lie, man. Numbers don't lie. I'm with you, though. Rhydon is absolutely and positively, cooler in every aspect of the word.
Austin, tell us about how you like Golem or you like Geodude.
I actually really do like Geodude, but he's not my favorite. My favorite, actually, a fun fact about him is he is the great-great-great-great-grandfather of one of my other favorite Pokemon, Kabutops.
Oh,
nice. Scyther's great-great-great-great-great-great-grandpa.
Yeah, that is kind of funny how they have the same thing going on.
And that's kind of why I like him. I'm a sucker for swords for hands, man. You strap some swords on your hand. I mean, I love Edward Scissorhands. Great movie. Also, Scyther and Kabutops. So I'd say Kabutops definitely one of my favorite rock. I'd also say, shout out to Onyx, but, he was my ground type. But Kabutops, he's pretty rad. And I always remember trying to find the right in Pokemon Red. Is that in the one where you you can find either fossil for him or Aerodactyl?
It's him or Omastar.
You only get one of them. Oh yeah. And I just always remember picking the wrong one. I just always could never do it. I could never find the right one.
Yeah,
so I never really got to have him, but he's my favorite rock type.
Yeah, you really can't go wrong with the fossils in the first game, man. They're really great. Like all of them, Kabutops, Omastar, and Aerodactyl. I love all three of those guys.
Yeah, I was more on the Kabutops train too, though. That's who I wanted.
I think Michael did Omastar.
Yeah, I like Omastar more. They're both super cool. They're based on the animals that they're based on are pretty much pound for pound the same. Kabutops not so much, but Kabuto, you can find them. We live in most of us live in Georgia, and you can find them on Tybee Island. You can what is the real thing? Horseshoe crabs. They're pretty much exactly what Kabuto is.
Well, no, I think Kabuto is based off of trilobites, which are extinct.
Yeah, I don't know. You look at horseshoe crabs and they're exactly like Kabuto. They have the shell on top. They have the things that look like eyes but aren't actually eyes. And then, but the funny thing about horseshoe crabs is they're some of the oldest animals that still exist. So it's pretty cool. I like the the first thing on Google. It says, "Can a horseshoe crab kill you?" It's like my boy. What?
I gotta look that up because I always thought he was based off of a trilobite, but because even
they're kind of they might be the same thing. They're sort of the same thing. So yeah, it looks like he definitely looks like a Kabuto looks like a trilobite too. But yeah, I can see either case. They're but that's the thing is that horseshoe crabs are connected to the most ancient sea creatures we know about. They've been around for a long time, and we harvest their blood to test antibiotics. Isn't that fun?
Gotta love harvesting blood.
Yeah, but I was just thinking about something with the whole sword hands concept. It's just he's just trying to eat dinner. You can't do anything.
Eat soup.
Matthew, how are those spirit battles going?
What's your favorite type, Michael?
You skipped me, by the way.
Yeah, but Matt,
you skipped me,
Trevor's
and then
I didn't hear.
Michael asked you a question.
I didn't hear what you were saying, but
I was saying, how are the spirit battles going?
I'm not doing that, but okay.
Oh, there's some clacking that I can hear.
No, I'm trying to mess with my TV settings right now because I have my Switch set up on a different TV, and for some reason, the percentage is not, or it feels like. Anyway, I'm not going to get into this. What, Trevor?
What's your favorite rock type, Trevor?
I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. Can you guess this one, Matt?
Guess Matthew's favorite rock or Trevor's favorite rock type? Oh man, which one is it? Is it Rhyperior? No, it's gonna be something like Lycan Rock. No, Reggie. No, definitely Barnacle Man.
Barnacle.
Colossal.
Archon.
Matthew.
I don't know.
Stonejourner.
Cradley.
Oh, that's close. That's a good one. Stonejourner actually isn't bad though. I actually like Stonejourner a lot. No, mine is Sudowoodo.
Sudowoodo. Yeah, this is the boy.
I like Sudowoodo.
He's super cool.
Like, it's just this rock that stands in your way. He's basically like the Gold and Silver's version of Snorlax. But standing in your way, and you got to throw water on him in order to make, and it moves, and you're like, what is this? And you go against this Pokemon, and I'm like, who is this guy? And I remember also using them. I swear, Pokemon Stadium made me favor a lot of Pokemon who I probably wouldn't have looked at as much. Because I think he was also one of those Pokemon too. And even just seeing him do moves like Strength, he would do this whole thing, or when he run at you and everything. Like I just love that Pokemon. And he looks like a Pokemon version of like a Deku Tree. He's really cool. I like him a lot. I've even tried to use him in some tournament kind of settings as well. So no, Sudowoodo is a really cool Pokemon. I kind of like his move pool. I think I feel like he learned Sucker Punch.
I think so.
Just really interesting move pool, interesting Pokemon. I know he learned, it's another move he learned, the grass move that also does recoil, the one that's 120 in power, Woodhammer. Go up.
Yeah. I'm sure he learns Woodhammer.
Trevor knows. So he has a really cool move pool, with self-destruct, with that, and with that rock head ability that he learns, which is absolutely mondo cool, especially when you do things like a Woodhammer or what's that other move? It's a move that does recoil as well, a normal type move. I don't know. He has a cool move pool. I like the way he rocks, and yeah, man, I like the way he rocks. You get it because he's a rock type.
He's a rock type. He is the funniest running animation in Pokemon
He's
Stadium.
Great, man. He's the truth. Look up the truth. You're gonna see Sudowoodo. Facts. That's it. Anybody else got any thoughts? Any thoughts on the Sudowoodo?
No, I like him. He's
not a wood type, is there?
No, he looks like he'd be a grass type, but he's a rock type.
Hey man, I respect it.
Yeah, well, he's kind of like a bonsai tree.
And that's why they named his pre-evolution Bonsly.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that till you just said that.
Yeah, it's like a living bonsai tree. Yeah, the first two generations of Pokemon are just they just cannot be beat. They're so creative.
Michael just scrolled past a picture of Sudowoodo, and I hope he puts it in the video because it's man, that's really cool.
Yeah, I want Sudowoodo to be in Fortnite.
Yo, Sudowoodo's in Fortnite.
He would actually be great in Fortnite. He'd fit right in.
Oh man, he'd be epic.
All right, so my favorite rock type is Shuckle, the Shuckster. Gen 2 Pokemon. He was kind of like Sudowoodo. He was one of those obstacles that you would come across. You would be trying to use Rock Smash, and you'd find out that was actually a Pokemon that you're trying to break, not just a regular rock. And so he's kind of taking the same concept as Applin, but he instead of like a dragon inside of an actual apple, the rock is sort of the apple, and he's like a worm creature with legs that crawls through it. He's just one of the funniest looking things in the game. His stats are also hilarious and help to kind of establish his character, where he's got the worst stats and everything. He's got 5 speed and 20 HP, 10 attack, but he's got 230 defense. And so the crazy part about that is that even Pokemon like Deoxys defense form, I don't even think he has 230 in defense.
No, he has 160 in defense.
Yeah, so it's he has 100 defense on one of the most defensive Pokemon that ever were invented. And I just think that's hilarious. Does it make him a good Pokemon? Not at all. He's awful. But
no, I had this strategy.
But I like to try and use him anyway because he's so fun and cool.
I forgot the name of the move. I think it's called Heart Swap. I forgot the name of it, but it's a move where you can when you use it on a Pokemon, you add up both defenses and you divide it by 2. I will use that with Shuckle. I will use Shuckle learns that move, and I will use that on somebody else. That way, that person would have some amazing defense, and be able to take a hit. Like, Shuckle is the truth, man. No, and you put me on the Shuckle, so shout out to you, because he's definitely in one or two of my parties. So yeah, man. And there was also a strategy I had. You can't do it now, I don't think, because Spender isn't in the game, and also it's a risk playing with Spender. Spender had this his ability, which was contrary. I would do skill swap with Spender and do it on Shuckle. And Shuckle learns I'm tripping. Shuckle actually has that move, that ability contrary, but he can't use that. But anyway. I conflated two different strategies, and it doesn't make sense anymore. Forget I said anything. I don't matter. Michael matters. Continue.
That was it. Shuckle is a super fun Pokemon.
He's Mondo cool. I remember you made a joke when I was a kid about somebody had a head like a Shuckle. It was really funny. It's the funniest joke.
Characters in Bob's Burgers look like Shuckle. All right, man. So what's our next type?
He is playing that spirit thing. He lying.
No, I'm not.
Kazuya!
Do you want me to share my screen if that's even a...
You can't
I don't know.
that,
I messed
buddy.
something up on my Switch, dude. I got to ask you guys about that after. But anyway...
Shouldn't be using third-party chargers, man.
Yeah, I don't. But the next type is Ghost type. And... What you just send a buff Shuckle or a buff Pseudo-Wudo?
Yeah,
That's
man.
pretty funny.
I can't help myself.
Nah, it's for me actually Ghost type was really hard. I didn't realize I don't actually love as many Ghost types as I thought, and everybody's typical with Gengar, whatever. I mean, he's cool, but he's not my favorite. I think my favorite might actually be Shedinja, the bug in Ghost type. Or I think he's a bug in Ghost type, isn't he?
He is.
Yeah, he's really cool. The fact that he only has 1 HP, but I think there's only one thing in the game that can hurt him. Isn't it something like that? Or no, the only things that can hurt him are super effective moves. So you can only hurt him with fire, rock. I can't remember what else, but
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert for me, also my favorite Ghost type by just a gigantic margin. Shedinja is one of the coolest. So that Wonder Guard ability that he has, he's the only guy who has it, and he can only be damaged by super effective hits, which you think, oh man, that's broken. But he's weak to dark, fire, flying, ghost, and rock. And especially with every new Pokemon game, like, it's getting a little ridiculous how many different types of moves people can use, but yeah, theoretically, if you were able to corner someone, a lot harder to do in doubles than singles, but if you're able to corner someone and make sure that they didn't have like Sandstorm up and they didn't have any of those moves, then like you win. And so there is like very, 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 very fringe cases where you can use him, but he's so cool. He's such a cool Pokemon. He looks like an angel with the little halo, and the way that he evolves and the rationale for him comes from when he evolves from an Incada, he evolves into Ninjask, which looks like this like little cicada bug whatever thing. He's cool, but whatever. If you have an empty space in your party and an extra Pokeball in your bag, then Shedinja will also appear. And the idea is that as the bug sheds the exoskeleton, a ghost embodies that and comes to life as Shedinja. And my boy, how cool is that?
He's really cool, man.
Yeah, really cool I really like Shedinja a lot. I believe he was a Ruby and Sapphire guy, which is such a tough generation for me, or really the first 5. It was always hard to find 6 guys just to roll with, because there's so many great Pokemon in all those games. And that was definitely a tough one, too, because I don't think he was in my main party just because I love so many guys in that game. Because there's really like 8 or 9 different guys I really wanted to use, like all of them. So, but yeah, no, he's probably my favorite Ghost type. So he's so adorable, too. He's just this cute bug. Like, I just want to, he'd be a cool
He's
pet.
definitely mine, too. Like, not even a contest. So much more than everybody else.
So what, Austin, what's your favorite
Well, so
Austin, there's only 3 ghost types in
poison, and there are not many. They're first gen. There's 3, and they're all the same evolution. But I really like Haunter, and I'd say out of Ghastly and even Gengar and Haunter, I think Haunter is like the scariest, which is what that's what I base my favorite off of, is usually what they look like and just, the art style and everything like that. And Haunter is, like, I think quite a bit freakier. If you look up the real life, like if people do like Pokemon in real life fan art kind of stuff, I just sent one to you guys. There's the Haunter and Gengar and Ghastly. They're terrifying. And I don't know, Haunter's just really cool. He's like, from what I remember in the show, I feel like he's the most mischievous of the 3. And,
I don't like the Gengar one.
Yeah. It's
okay. You can take it up with the. Did you like how Gengar looked in Detective Pikachu?
I don't remember.
Okay. Anyway, go on.
Sorry, man.
Yeah, that's about it. I like Haunter.
Yeah,
Haunter's cool, man.
You remember that episode where he licked the Charmander?
It was in the
intro
opening to Pokemon, so everybody knows that. It's burned into my skull.
It's also true. Yeah, that's a weird picture, Austin. I don't like any of those. They all look like gremlins or gremlins, whatever they are. Haunter. He's a weirdo. But what's yours, Trevor?
Oh yeah, Michael's showing me the Gengar and Detective Pikachu. He looks terrible.
I think he's fine.
Trevor,
anyway, look at those goofy teeth. He's terrible.
Teeth.
Trevor.
All right. Yeah, Trevor, what's your favorite ghost type?
My favorite ghost type, initially I did say Gengar because I do, but I think who my favorite is and who I like playing with the most are 2 different things. Like, I've learned to love playing with Gengar, because I like sweepers and stuff like that. That's really cool. But honestly, my favorite one, when I really think about it, is the disrespect for Michael. I don't like any of these guys, not even close. Sableye is pretty cool to me. Because what is Sableye? Like, he looks like a homunculus or something like that. Like, what is he? It's really cool. And for in that generation that he came from, Ruby and Sapphire, up until they came out with fairy types, he did not have a weakness. So I just thought that was just really cool. Really cool Pokemon. And then he has these diamonds or these gems as eyes, and he has like a ruby as his like in his heart or whatever. Like, I don't know. I just think what is this Pokemon? What does he do? What is his function? And I used to, use him in some really cool ways as well. And then once they came out with hidden ability, I mean, even his Mega Evolution is cool. Michael just showed a picture of that. His is actually one of the more like, okay, I could deal with that Mega Evolutions. Like, he has like a big ruby as his shield. Like, I don't know, man. I think Sableye is a really cool Pokemon because he just represents, there was an artist who criticized the famous Picasso, and his critique was, a lot of his art was like, always an answer, and art isn't an answer, art's a question, and I think Sableye represents that. Like, he's a question, like, yo, what is this thing? What is it? Like, and some of our other favorite Pokemon choices too, like, what is this thing? Like, what, and it makes you just want to delve into it and expound upon it and find out what that Pokemon is about, and you love it. And I think Sableye represents that, so that's why he is my favorite ghost type. Shout out to him.
He's pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like Sableye. I didn't know if somebody was talking because of the delay, but
he was always cool finding that Ruby. I remember the cave he was in. He's in the same cave you find Aaron and Makuhita in, and he was like a little harder to find in there. Cool guy.
Yeah. No, yeah, he's
what
a
is
cool
our next
Pokemon.
time? Because mine was Shedinja. We covered everything there.
Yeah. The next one's going to be Dark type, which this one was interesting for me because I was looking through and I'm like, man, I don't think I like a lot of Dark types a whole lot. Like, there's Drapion from Diamond and Pearl, who I used in my party. So, like, there was a few, but then I thought about it for a second and I was like, dude, I love Crocodile. He might be one of my favorite Pokemon ever, because, come on, like I said, anything Dino, Reptile, anything like that. But crocodilians, Kremlings, I mean, like, that's what it makes me think of. But he's really cool. I like, too, that he starts off as being brown and black are his primary colors, and then he ends up being purple and black, like, for his final form, which is just kind of a weird contrast. But I don't know, just this giant crocodile, and, he's a dark type. That's why he's crocodile, because he's a thief. I don't know. He's awesome. I love him.
Yeah, he's one of those cool Pokemon who has, like, a bunch of cool things happening, where he's sort of like a crocodile combined with a raccoon, in the sense where the way that his eyes look, and then the like persona of being a thief, but also the concept of a crocodile living inside of, like, those soft sands in the desert is one, terrifying, two, pretty cool and awesome. Like, it's interesting. I'm more of a Sandile Crocorock guy than I am a Crocodile. Crocodile's really cool in his own way, but I think I don't know. I think Sandile is my favorite out of that evolution chain. I just love that concept of, like, sand crocodile. It's much like Hippowdon, where it's like you just take this aquatic animal, put it in the sand, and all of a sudden it's like, oh man, that's kind of awesome, actually.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't agree with that. I think Crocodile's the coolest, but I don't know. They're all really cool. I like each form of that evolution chain, but yeah, that would be my favorite dark type. There wasn't a whole lot of competition, because there's not really a whole lot of dark types that I love. And it's kind of an annoying type to play with too, I feel like, because it just, I don't know, every time I use a dark type move, it feels like it's not very effective, but I don't know
you
why.
Learn that chart, my boy.
Yeah, it's just, but I don't know, it just feels like one of those types that doesn't cover a lot, even though I know it does. It's just I always happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time with dark type. But anyway,
but also the inclusion of fairy type nerfed a lot of types, and dark was one of them to a capacity. Like, fairy type really changed the game to a large. So, when you say, like, you feel like it's always not effective, it would probably be a different conversation if it wasn't, like, post 6th gen, because fairy type just, yeah, man. I don't know.
The funny thing about dark type originally is that it was partially created to balance how overpowered psychic was, and then eventually dark got overpowered, and so they put in fairy to help balance it. It's kind of funny.
Balance it and dragon, yeah.
Yeah, but Crocodile is also fun from a competitive standpoint. He's got this ability called Anger Point, which is, like, I don't know how you optimize for that, but some people are crazy enough to do it, where if you get hit by a critical hit, you'll get your attack boosted to the max and turn into a monster. But yeah, I think he's actually won a world championship too. I have to check my math on that, but I know people have taken him far in the competitive scene. But yeah, Crocodile's awesome. Austin, what about you?
So this was one that, and now I'm looking at the Pokédex on the Pokemon website, which is way better than the Pokemon Wikipedia for looking at types and whatnot. So I wish I would have had this when I was doing my research. But initially it was Gyarados, because that's, like, the one I know the best. But now that I'm looking at them, there are a few that I do know. And so I don't know, I'm kind of having a hard time. Like, Umbreon I really like. From the earlier, like, 2nd gen. But then one of my new favorites I want to highlight from playing through Shield is Impidimp. I love him because I just love to hate him. He's just, I see his face and I just don't like it. And so I'm like, yep, I want you in my party. I want everybody that I battle to have to look at your ugly face and just be, terrorized by you.
Yeah, Impidimp is disgusting.
Trevor likes absolutely. Trevor likes that Pokemon.
No, I mean,
Grimmsnarl's like, cool. Like,
I like that's who I'm thinking of.
I like Grimmsnarl. Grimmsnarl's the last form.
Yeah, that's the one Trevor likes.
Impidimp is like that 5-year-old kid who's the snot-nosed punk on the playground. Is like, and then he evolves into Morgrim, which you could just, like, hear. That is, dude, do you even listen to Panic at the Disco? And looks like kind of like an emo type. And then Grimmsnarl is awesome. I like him. He's like this, like, weird psychic fairy dark Machamp. He reminds me a lot he reminds me of Machamp in like the way that he plays and the way that he looks.
He's kind of like, you're gonna pay for making fun of me in high school.
Yeah.
But no, I like Impidimp. He's kind of like, our relationship is a little bit like Misty with Psyduck, but a little more mischievous.
Gotcha.
Swag.
Hey,
Trevor?
I'm trying to figure out what I named him. I named him something funny, I'm sure, but
Gollum?
I don't remember. Probably
Smeagol.
Schmeagol.
What's
Trevor, what was your favorite dark type? Is it Zoroark or Darkrai?
Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah, I'm typecasting.
Is it?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, what's that weird lizard-looking thing that's a dark and fighting type? Shiftry or not Shiftry? What's his name?
Scrafty?
Huh?
Scrafty.
Yeah, Scrafty.
Scrafty.
That's Trevor's favorite.
So you say Scrafty. Michael, which one do you say?
I was just
I'm
kidding.
landing on Darkrai.
Okay.
No,
Okay. So you,
Hydreigon. No, he's not a dark type, is he?
Or
Yes,
it's it could be Obstacle.
Oh, Hydreigon.
He
It's
is.
Hydreigon.
I'm sticking with Darkrai.
all of you guys are wrong. It's Absol.
Absol. Oh, yeah.
That's
Absol.
absolutely
You do
the
love
wrong
Absol,
pick.
don't you?
I love Absol. He's just interesting. He's like this Grim Reaper looking Pokemon. And I mean, I even liked his ability Super Luck. Even though I didn't utilize it until it was too late. But it basically like ups his critical hit ratio and everything. Just a really cool Pokemon. Got this Scyther on his face and everything. Scyther. But yeah, no, I just like him. I don't know. Just and he's purely dark type, not a mix, purely dark. And yeah, man. I think what's the thing behind him? It says like when you see an Absol, it can be interpreted as an omen.
Yeah.
Dark
Yeah, that's a cool Pokédex entry. It says if it appears before people, it's followed by a disaster like an earthquake or a tidal wave.
Yeah. I like him. It's cool. Man, he's from that Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald era. My favorite Pokemon are from that era. Basically.
He's used as a pretty significant character in the Mystery Dungeon game that's on Switch now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's pretty cool.
I like him, and he hits hard. The only
His
thing
Mega
is,
Evolution looks like it has the sauce as well.
it's pretty cool. It has that angel kind of thing to it.
Yeah, it looks a little getting into Digimon territory with it, but I'll let it slide this time.
Yeah,
He looks like if Sephiroth was a Pokemon.
Basically, the angel of death.
Yeah, with like one wing just because he's cool.
Yeah.
Like, 2 wings are lame.
Yeah, I mean, and he's cool too, and he has good attack as well. The only thing about it, he just does not have good speed, and that's what ruins him. But he has that 130 in attack. I'm like, all right, that's my boy. Now, if only your 70 speed meant something.
Dude, 70 speed is the curse. From playing
it's too slow to actually be fast enough to compete regularly, and it's too fast in order to be a trick room. So now you're just, you're lost in the sauce.
You just always go last.
Sorry, Trevor. Michael, dark type?
My favorite dark type is Alolan Muck.
Really?
Yeah.
I stayed away from Alolan or like alternate versions of Pokemon.
Yeah, but I like Alolan Muck more than I like Muck. Because while Muck is fun for sure, Alolan Muck just gives it that extra edge that I like. He's sort of based on when certain trash and oils hit the ocean, it'll take on this like rainbow slime that happens in the water, and so he's based on that. And then there's some like crystallization that happens that gives him some like fangs and teeth that are like crystal rocks. I just really like that small adjustment to him. I think he's probably one of the cooler alternate forms of a Pokemon, because they're just taking the original and just like giving it a little bit of sauce, like just something that would actually make sense if they were in a different region. I think he was probably the best realized Alolan form.
See, I would say,
as cool as Sandslash is.
No, see,
it looks like what you'd find if you took a wrong turn in Willy Wonka's tunnel.
No, I would
that terrifying boat.
I would say Sandslash is the best and that's what I liked about Sandslash, is that it's just subtle. Like that's what you would expect to find in like a different region, but I just hated that they changed his, ice and steel. I just didn't get that. It should have been ice and grounds, but with Muck, he's poison and dark, right? Like he's still a poison type, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
so
that should have been
dark to poison.
That should have been Sandslash, man.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like gameplay wise, like in Sandslash, the only thing is I think the icy things on his back are a little overdone, where it's like it feels like that should have been peeled back just like a little bit.
No, dude, they're like giant icebergs. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, I like Sandslash a lot too, but yeah, and just the gameplay elements that it adds when he's a dark type, where like psychic is the bane of his existence, then he gets a dark type and he's completely immune to it. It's really funny, and yeah, just he's one of the Pokemon that I just keep coming back to. I just keep finding him in like Let's Go and things of that nature. Although I don't think he exists anymore. He's not in Sword and Shield. So
and also, how do you beat
drink
him?
out for the homie.
I think he only has one weakness, which is ground.
Yep, only ground, and immune to psychic, resistant to poison, ghost, grass, and dark.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that was what was cool about that whole concept too. Because the other thing with the Alolan Pokemon is it's like, oh, all right, here's a chance to make this Pokemon good. And with Sandslash, they're like, how about a quad weakness to fighting and fire? Thanks guys, but yeah, it's definitely cool. I like Alolan Muck. Close second would be Tyranitar. I do like me some Tyranitar as well.
Oh yeah, that's
Umbreon.
Wait, actually, now that I think about that, you like Muck better than Tyranitar? That's crazy to me. Tyranitar was always one of your favorites.
Yeah, recently. Yeah, I don't know. With Tyranitar, this is weird, but like his prevalence in the competitive scene and how often I've had my teeth kicked in by Tyranitars online is like sort of like dampened my love for him. It sounds weird, but I mean, honest to God, it happens. Like I am so like with Super Smash Brothers, I'm so tired of fighting the Joker character that I just, it's totally turned me off to Persona. I have zero interest in ever playing Persona 5 because I find him so annoying. And it's kind of the same with Tyranitar. Not to say that I've stopped liking him or anything, but I just like Muck a little more in this stage of life that I'm at. But I mean, it's definitely close. I don't know. Give Muck the edge today.
So was I completely wrong? Is Umbreon not your favorite at all?
I like Umbreon a lot, but I think you're referring to when I was destroying you with him competitively.
You're funny.
It's funny because Trevor's way better Pokemon now.
Yeah.
What's our next type?
Well, no, I was just now that I think about it, though, I'm like, man, Tyranitar is such a cool Pokemon. I'm really shocked at that because I think Muck's cool, but I don't know, man. Tyranitar is one of the best Pokemon ever designed to me. He's really, really cool, and I like too that he's well balanced in the sense that he's a rock and dark type, so he gets destroyed by fighting, for example. I think there's things that they do to balance him out as opposed to other really good Pokemon that just seem to do everything well. But yeah, that's
it's funny because on paper, based on his types and stuff, he should be awful. But the Sandstream and all that stuff that he gets really, really changed the game for him. Because he comes, so Sandstorm for rock types gives them a boost to their special defense, so he just comes out on the field with pretty much a resistance to everything that's special. But yeah, like I said, Tyranitar would be close second. That's why I got to mention him.
No, but the next type is Dragon type, which for me, I thought Haxorus was my favorite Dragon type because he's kind of like a dinosaur, hence his name. But I really like Appleton. That's probably the one Sword and Shield guy. Or really, from the last 3 generations they've done, probably the only guy I have on this list from those that I can think of off the top of my head. But he is... I just like the fact that he's just a fat, sleepy dragon with an apple shell over his eyes. It's just hilarious to me. I don't like the fact that his back looks like an apple pie. That's the one part that just annoys me because it kind of feeds into that whole Pokemon's been kind of gimmicky for the last couple of years, but... Man, I love Appleton so much. He's a great Pokemon. So yeah, just a fat.
I love the Gigantamax
dragon.
too.
Yeah, the Gigantamax
his
is great
Gigantamax
too.
is just the same as the Flapper one.
Yeah.
I just wish they would have gave him his own one instead of just the Flapper one.
I mean, I don't really care about Gigantamax forms anyway, so it never bothered me. But but Appleton, man, that's my guy. It's probably my favorite guy from that game. So
yeah, he's also one of those Pokemon that I could see myself falling in love with. Just the turtly defensive nature of him. He's an absurdity. Like, those are generally my favorite Pokemon.
Yeah, I mean,
the ones that are like so absurd.
And also, I feel like Dragon types, they're like anime characters in Super Smash Bros. They always have to be the coolest characters. And they always have to be so good. And it's like Appleton is just one of those. He's a Dragon type, but he's not overpowered. He's not like, he doesn't have like 6 arms or swords for arms or just what I mean. Just like he's not. Oh man, I'm so cool. He's a goofball, and I love that. And I really like Flapple a lot too. It's funny, I'd probably use them both in that game if I didn't want to have 2 guys in my playthrough that were basically like the same type and same in a lot of ways. But yeah, man, Appleton,
the Dragon's super cool, like Ultra Necrozma.
Yeah,
what is that, man? Come on,
Dragon types are
not even
really,
a Pokemon. It's just it's a Bionicle.
It might Dragon type honestly might be my least favorite type in Pokemon just because of the way they make them. Like I said, they're kind of like the opposite of how bug types used to be, where most bug types used to stink, where it's like Dragon type is just they always have to be the best types. They always have to be the like pseudo legendary. Like, I just hate that. It's like, why can't there just be like a Dragon type that's not very good that you find at the beginning of the game? Like, I hate that.
Well, they have since
such
really,
a lack of variety.
They have since really toned down dragons. There's a bunch of them that just like are nothing special. Like Flygon was good, but he wasn't like fantastic. Same with Kingdra, where they're just like some like higher tier, but not like, overwhelming picks. There's guys like Drampa and Turtonator, Tyrantrum. All those Pokemon aren't anything like super special. Even some of the new ones like Dracozolt isn't the best. And then there was remember from 5th gen Druddigon? He's like so cool, and you're like, oh man, he's awesome, and he just like stinks. He's so bad.
Yeah, I feel like they started doing that at some point, but it felt like for a long time it's usually like Dragon types have to be the best, and they've switched it up. I mean, that's why, like I said, Bug type has had this resurgence of all of a sudden there's really good bug types and there's legendary bug types like Genesect and stuff like that. But I just, for a long time, Dragon types were like the bane of my existence just because they always have to be the coolest, strongest Pokemon. They all have to be like Garchomp, and I just, makes me sick. But,
Garchomp makes me sick.
What's your favorite Dragon type, Austin? Dragonite?
Oh man, Dragonite was up there, but and that was the initial. I was like, oh yeah, I like Dragonite. But now as I look at it, I really like Rayquaza. I just always found him to be really cool because he's like this flying snake, legendary. But then I feel like if I had to settle on it, I would actually say Dragonair. Just a really cool, like gentle looking dragon, but then also just like sleek. I thought like a cool design. Sometimes the middle evolution of Pokemon I feel like are a lot cooler. Kind of the same with Kadabra. I just think they're cooler than their final evolution. And with Dratini and Dragonair, it's like it gets really cool. And then Dragonite's cool, but he doesn't really complete, in my opinion, doesn't really complete the evolution. I would love to see an alternate evolution of Dragonair or of Dragonite or whatever, where it looks more along the lines of what Dratini and Dragonair look like.
See,
is that just me?
Yeah, I completely disagree, only because Dragonite's actually one of the few dragon types I do like a lot because he's just a fat, goofy dragon. He kind of reminds me of Barney with wings. Like, that's the vibe I always get with Dragonite, but that's what I liked about him, is that he's a really good Pokemon, but he doesn't look like he would be. And I don't know. It's just like after the first game, they're just like dragons have to be like super cool, and I don't know. I love. Well,
I wonder if so one thing that happened in the first generation is one of the other elements that they decided on later on in development was the whole evolution thing. And so they would connect some Pokemon that they have decided already into like, they would like sort of combine them into the same tree. And I wonder if the same thing happened to Dragonair. As an example, Blastoise was not the original third evolution of Squirtle. They had something different in mind, but then eventually like just put Blastoise in that slot. So I wonder if Dragonair and Dragonite, it was the same sort of thing. Because, yeah, it is kind of a weird jump. Especially in like color palette and everything, where you can kind of see it, but it is quite the jump.
Yeah, and he goes from like more of this kind of like worm snake kind of thing to I grew
just
legs
like
and arms and changed my colors and
that's
really
how
nice
I feel
now.
about that's honestly how I feel about Charizard, even though he's my favorite, if not Marowak, but. That's kind of with Charizard, where like I pictured like a big giant fire dinosaur, and instead they made him more like a dragon, and it always felt kind of odd to me, even though I still love him. But it didn't feel like that's what Charmeleon would evolve into. So I get what you mean, and same thing with Dragonite. I do agree. I think I just like Dragonite. That why it's acceptable for me. But yeah, that's cool. What about you, Trevor?
I'm glad he switched his answer because mine is definitely Rayquaza. It's like, I don't know, when I found that Pokemon in Ruby, I'm like, yo, who is that? And then even his ability, he's like, okay, I see you over there with your, you know what I'm saying, Groudon, I see you. Okay. All right, Kyogre, I see you over there with your little drizzle. Check this out. I got airlock. All that. Goodbye. One Mike, one Rayquaza. How we doing? Airlock up in the building. Like, I just love him. I mean, and even his attack, he got 150 in both attacks. Bam, bam. He got 95 in speed. Bam, bam. Ready to go toe-to-toe with whoever want to give it to him. I mean, he's just he represents what it means to be a dragon type to me. Like, just cool, like beaming, kind of like a beaming kind of Pokemon and everything with the lights and everything, in line with the Kyogre and the Groudon. I think he is just a cool, like, he is a mediator between the two, like, forces that is the sea and the land and everything between Kyogre and Groudon, and I always just thought it was really cool. I mean, and then, red, blue, and then green, you know what I'm saying? The three colors of Trinity, he represents that, you know what I'm saying? And he did it. Bam. And also my first tournament I ever did at GameStop, I competed with him and I did my thing. I took an ice beam from, who was it? No, was it? Yeah, I took an ice beam from somebody and I lived. And guess what? I did an ice beam back and I beat him. Then I lost to somebody with a Latios, and I'm pretty sure they had a Soul Dew. It's a fact. Look it up. It's a fact. Look it up. Anybody who doesn't know what Soul Dew is, it increases your special attack and your special defense by half, which makes you broken. It's banned in tournaments, but not at GameStop. That doesn't make sense at GameStop. So yeah. Anyway, Rayquaza is my guy.
Trevor just said what I was talking about, because that's how most people view it. They're like, what it means to be a dragon type, and I'm like, see, I wish all the types were kind of viewed equally, but dragon gets like put on this pedestal that I just never understood. But he's a cool Pokemon though, Rayquaza. I do, he's pretty cool. I don't like love him, but he's cool.
Yeah, I mean, he made me want to get Emerald. Like, even though I already had like Ruby, I got Emerald because of him. Like, cause I'm like, yo, he is dope. Look at him. And like, even his animations, Michael's pulling up like some of the sprites right now. I'm like, yo, and even his shiny is cool too. Like, I'm just saying, like, that's the coolest dragon type, honestly, because I've played with dragon types before. But I mean, I don't know if you want to call, even though Charizard isn't a dragon type, he's the coolest dragon Pokemon I've seen since like Charizard to me. Somebody that made me want to get a whole nother game just because he was on the box cover, Yeah, I don't know. I love him. He's great cool. Pokemon.
I have an action figure of him, and it's rad.
That's cool. Yeah, I've had a lot of experience with Rayquaza too. Emerald was one of the first games that I like really, really, really got into with Pokemon, and obviously he was at the end of that. I had this little tin that I bought cards in or something. I don't know. Trevor has the tin now, but that was always super cool. I liked him in Subspace Emissary in Super Smash Bros. Brawl. He's just a boss for some reason. Like, he emerges out of a lake and captures Diddy Kong, and then Star Fox and Diddy Kong have to lay the smack down.
Wow!
Like, who came up with that? But it's awesome. He's also a very important character in that same mystery dungeon game I was talking about, which is cool. And then there was this game, Pokemon Conquest. It's like a tactics game that combines Nobunaga's ambition with Pokemon, and the main antagonist in the game eventually gets his hands on a shiny Rayquaza, and it's pretty cool.
I would say he's the dopest legendary since Mewtwo. That's me.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely up there. I think the legendaries were cool until Gen 5, and after that, I just lost all my interest in all of them.
Yeah, it's kind of like starters to me. I just
Yu-Gi-Oh monsters out of here.
I just don't care about just like starters. Ever since after the 4th game, I just have not cared about legendaries either.
Or here's a dog that holds a sword in its mouth.
Yeah, they're always too over the top. I kind of liked Genesect only because, a bug legendary. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah, he's cool.
He also is kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh looking at the same time.
Yeah, and he's definitely like one of those like kaiju guys. Like there's a guy, a robot in Godzilla Save the Earth that's pretty much Genesect. It's I think it's like Mogura or something.
Oh, Mogira.
Mogira, yeah.
Mogira.
Yeah, Genesect definitely gives me that vibes. But
that's what Austin was laying the smackdown with Mogira. But what's
all right? My favorite dragon type is Dragonite.
Yeah, Austin.
He's I'm glad Austin didn't say, because I actually really like Dragonite. I get what Austin's saying, where it's like kind of a weird jump, but I like Dragonite himself. The little I wouldn't go as far to say he looks like Barney, but I think he just looks like a less threatening type of dragon, which is cool that's where they started.
Yeah,
with
he delivered
dragons.
mail, right? In the show, right?
He delivered mail in the show.
Not that it has to make sense, but I just didn't like that his wings were so small compared to his
I like that. I like that a lot.
There's no way you can carry yourself through the air.
I like that a lot. He's like plump and it has these little wings. But yeah, he looks more like he's related to Charizard than he looks like he's related to Dragonair.
Are you skinny shaming, Michael?
I also like no, I'm just saying that chubby animals look cute sometimes. I like his antenna that he has coming outside of his head, and then he has like kind of like a little unicorn horn. Like he's just kind of a fun and unique Pokemon. He was the only dragon type of the first game, and while I never really got around to getting him in the first game because it's so obnoxiously hard to like get one on your party, I've just always liked Dragonite, and I came back around in the 4th generation to use him in a tournament. Where he has this like fun little multi-scale ability where if he's at full HP, he doesn't take as much damage from super effective hits, and he's super cool. I've always liked Dragonite. He's Pokemon at its peak. He's like well thought out and simple, like just the simplified design. We were talking about Rayquaza, and it's like that's cool and all, but Rayquaza is like, a kid can't draw a Rayquaza. You can draw a Dragonite. He's just got that charming simplicity that some of those early Pokemon had. Whereas like nowadays they're it's like I'm a monkey with a bush growing out of my back.
How do you like it? Because you did just scroll through some of the sprites. The first sprites of Dragonite seem actually more intimidating than the later sprites. How do you feel about that? Like them making them look more friendlier.
Well, I think the drawings were always the same. He was always friendly looking in the drawings, but I think the idea for the sprite in there, what they were probably thinking of, because he does look pretty intimidating in red and blue, but
and even yellow.
Well, yellow I'd say less so, but I think the intention was like you see Dragonite, and that's like basically the last boss in the game. You're seeing it with Lance, and it's supposed to be big, scary, and intimidating. But no, I've always liked the way that he looks. Of course, the later you go, if you go into everything after Gen 6, he looks very lame and uninteresting. There's this thing that happened with 6th Gen where they had this idea for a mechanic called like air battles, and you could only battle with your flying type Pokemon or Pokemon that knew Levitate. So anything with Levitate or Fly got this really awkward and stilted animation where they just fly in place, and that's why every Pokemon that's flying looks like that. You know, they even got my boy Charizard with it, where he just looks lame, just kind of like levitating there. Anyway, I like Dragonite.
Nice. We only got 2 types left. Next one is going to be Steel type, which for me would be Aggron. Aggron is such a cool Pokemon to me. He's kind of like Rhydon 2.0, but honestly, it's tough for me, like, trying to figure out, do I like Rhydon or Aggron better, because they're both just so cool. I'd probably still say Rhydon, but Aggron is an amazing Pokemon. Just this big dinosaur, you know, rock and steel type, which is pretty cool. He's just covered in armor. He has horns. He used to have a pretty, or not used to, but he has a pretty diverse move pool as well, which is, you know, cool to see him use attacks like Thunder. I'm pretty sure he can learn Thunder, even though that wouldn't be good for him to use, but it's just cool, you know? He reminds me of like Rhydon, but also like Nidoking. I don't know. He's just a great Pokemon. I really love him a lot. Might have been my favorite in Ruby and Sapphire besides Sceptile, but so he was definitely in my party. But
yeah, he's super cool. He's also one of the oldest trading cards that I still have access to. I've got Team Magma's Aggron as a card, and it's like one of the 3 cards that I held on to from, like, you know, any sense of childhood.
Yeah, no, he's look awesome. His, like, he's a guy that could have been in like
Japanese.
Huh?
No, I'm tripping off of his name. His like Japanese name is Boss Ghidorah. Like, that's so dope. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
Yeah, he's definitely cut from that kaiju cloth of like the early days of Pokemon.
No, yeah, that's why, like, I was about to say, he's a guy that you could easily picture in the first or second game, even though I think the 3rd gen is in line with those 2, but definitely just, you know, feels like a classic Pokemon design. But I don't really love his, like, Aaron, you know, Aaron's a pretty, you know, he's pretty adorable Pokemon. I don't like Lairon, or is that, I think that's his name, Lairon. His second
like
form,
Lairon.
I don't like him at all. He's kind of grotesque to me, but then you
he's
get
like a
Aggron.
Triceratops.
Nah, not really. I don't know. I have to look at
him
again.
It's a cool evolution chain. It's very similar to, you know,
like Rhydon too.
He definitely a lot like Rhydon, and the Rhyhorn to Rhydon, a lot like the Nidorino to Nidoking.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
I like Lairon. He's like he's
bipedal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a cool transition. But yeah, that's one of the coolest Pokemon. He's like one of those that Matthew always got him at my party, and I was always looking over. He's like, man, would it be weird if I got him too?
Yeah, no, he's great, man. But yeah, that would be my favorite Steel type by far. Austin, what do you got? They didn't have Steel type in the first game, so I know this one was tough.
Sorry, just. So yeah, first game, I got a lot of options. I've got Magnemite and Magneton.
Oh yeah, they made that. That's
so
right.
So based off the first game,
I forgot that they made them Steel types, because Steel type wasn't a type in the first game.
Yeah. No, it wasn't. So I don't know. I really do like Magnemite because of most of what I base it off of. It, like I said, is what they look like, the art style, the episodes that I saw growing up, and the Magnemite episode I had, and I really liked that one. But looking at some of these, I'm torn between choosing one that I just really like, and it's based off of Taylor had an action figure that I just stole from him and played with, and I was probably way too old at that point, but Metagross, I think he's pretty rad.
Yeah, that's Metagross. That might be Trevor's favorite. He really likes Metagross, but you were talking about Magneton, though.
If it is Trevor's favorite, then do what?
I have to change now. What was I going to say? You were talking about Magnemite, though. Magneton is a super underrated Pokemon to me. Like, I actually really like Magneton a lot.
Yeah, I like them both a lot. And there's the episode is where they go to, I forget which town it was, but the Mucks and the Grimers are like just clogging up the city's power plant, and then Magnemite has this crush on Pikachu because weird. Pikachu's sick. It's very weird, but I really enjoy it. You know, it's a big childhood moment for me. So if Trevor's favorite is Metagross, then totally my favorite is Magnemite. You know, like totally. That's it 100%. But if not,
it's Metagross. You already
I think
admitted it.
Metagross is one that I want to be my favorite, but I just don't feel like I have enough, knowledge of him. Literally just playing with an action figure.
You've held him in your arms.
I've held him in my arms.
It's
very near and dear to me.
Metagross is one of the most annoying Pokemon to me.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It's one of those Tyranitar situations where like everybody used him, and I'm just like, go away.
No, but Tyranitar
it's okay.
is actually.
I used to deal with him pretty handily with my Swampert.
But see, I just always thought Tyranitar was so cool too. I was never like, I don't hate Metagross, but I don't like him at all either. And so for me, it made it super annoying. Where it's like, I don't like this Pokemon, and he's like overpowered. Like it was him and Salamence.
Cool.
Him and Salamence in that game that used to drive me
everybody
nuts.
had both.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
That's the only thing I hate
legendary
about
per game is enough.
That's the only thing I hate about Ruby and Sapphire was just those two Pokemon. But what do you got, Trevor? Is your Steel type Metagross?
Yeah, he stole it again. No, but it's all good, bro. No, he is a cool Pokemon. I think the minute I saw him, I forgot what game I saw him in. I don't know if it was Coliseum
Gold and
first.
Silver.
You're so funny. I think it was Coliseum first.
He looked good. His model looked really good in Coliseum.
Yeah, man. Like it's like, who is that? I remember seeing my friend. I had a friend growing up named Aaron, and he used to play. Like he had to go against. I think the last person in the game had him as a character. I'm like, who is that? I think that's when you got somebody, when you ask who is that. Like I know Matthew doesn't like this Pokemon in Gen 8, but like when I saw what's the electric and poison type's name again?
I don't dislike him. I used him for a little while. He's I forgot his name.
Toxtricity. I'm like,
shows you how memorable he is.
Yeah, well, I'm like, who is that? Like, I know you get like, oh, I just don't like the whole Rockstar thing. I'm like, I thought that was kind of cool. I'm like, yo,
his Gigantamax is so cool though. Where he turns into more of a lizard.
Yeah, well, that's cool, and I feel you. But no, like, I think when a Pokemon has that effect, when it makes you, who is that?
Who's that Pokemon?
You want to find out. Facts. And I think it's disrespectful even looking at the description of Metagross is like iron leg Pokemon. I remember in the description it was like he has it's like 2 supercomputers or something like in him or something like that. And I think that would be a better description. I think for a while I think it was his description like,
yeah, he has combined 4 brains that can breeze through difficult calculations faster than a supercomputer. That's fun. I never read that Pokédex entry.
Awesome. As a result of 2 Metang achieving fusion. Wow. I just thought it was a cool Pokemon. Like, who is that? Psychic and Steel type, and he has his own signature move, Meteor Mash, for a minute. I think it was just him and Jirachi.
Wait, we just have to read this Sapphire Pokédex entry. It says, when hunting, this Pokemon pins its prey onto the ground under its massive body, then eats the helpless victim with the large mouth on its stomach.
Oh, man.
Jeez.
Yeah, he
bruh.
Yeah, he wasn't playing no games.
That didn't make it to the Sword and Shield.
Yeah, man. Nah, he's the truth, man. He's the truth, Ruth. So no, he's I just like the Pokemon. I like his the way he looks, how intimidating he is. I like the description of him being smarter than a supercomputer. I like the fact that he had a signature move which they nerfed because I guess it was too Mondo cool. Meteor Mash, that was the name of it. And it used to have 100 in power and have 100, or was it? I think it had 90 accuracy back then, but it also can increase your attack. It has an effect of increasing your attack. Now they nerfed it to like 90 or something like that. It's like, haters. But no, like just really cool Pokemon, like cool typing. I think that was the first time we saw. I think that was the first time. You're a hater. That was the first time we saw Psychic and Steel typing. After that, then that's when in the Gen 4, that's when we got your guy that was a Steel and Psychic type, the defensive one that you used to use in your Rain Dance party. You remember? Bronzong. There we go. That's when we got Bronzong, the generation after that. But him and Jirachi were the first Steel and Psychic type Pokemon, and I thought that was just really cool. And he just fit a mold. And like you, I'm gonna be honest, seeing him in a tournament scene kind of made me like him a little less. Like people ruin something real quick. Like I loved Blaziken like crazy, and I still do. But seeing him in a tournament scene just because he had speed boost broke my heart.
All these posers out here.
Oh yeah, Metagross was the same thing, especially them giving him up. He's one of those Pokemon that did not need a Mega Evolution at all. Like at all.
Yeah, he didn't need one. He it was the type combination where I'm immune to poison, and then I've got Psychic as an attacking type, and then if that wasn't enough, Clear Body. Like, what? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and then his mega move, his mega ability was Tough Claws, which increases your attack by a third, like physical contact attacks by a third. It's like, yeah, dude, y'all didn't need to give him that, especially somebody who can learn Bullet Punch, which is a speed priority move. Like, come on, my guy. Like, I love him, but he don't need a Mega Evolution.
Also, he shouldn't know Bullet Punch.
Don't be a hater. Don't be a hater.
He shouldn't have a priority move. He's slow.
I mean,
it's like giving Rhydon extreme speed.
I mean, Hitmonchan has Mach Punch.
Hitmonchan's but you could see biologically how a boxer would be able to punch fast.
You just hate, man.
You would see how a boxer would be able to punch fast. This thing, how does Bullet Punch look? They do that in the anime. It just stands up on two legs. Like, no.
Nah, man, listen, he could do it. Don't hate.
I'm hating.
What's the next and last type?
My steel type. Oh no, Trevor.
Michael, sorry about that.
Leave me alone. My favorite steel type is Alolan Sandslash. Alolan Sandslash is
Slinging Slasher.
Ashley Slasher. I remember recently discovering him in Pokemon Snap, just burrowing through the snow. It's super cool, and yeah. I think what they were going for with the steel type is more that like his claws are more refined, and that's how I can like dig through not only just sand but like snow that's turning into ice. He's fun to discover in the Sun and Moon games because you have to go pretty deep into the game to even see him. And he was instantly joining my party. Sandshrew and Sandslash are some of my more favorite Pokemon in first gen as well. And I just really like what they did with the Alolan form. I don't know if I'd say I like it more than the original, but I like it just as much, to say the very least. And he's a super cool Pokemon.
No, they were definitely Sandshrew and Sandslash were to me by far like the best Alolan. That and
Sandshrew looks a little silly.
And Muck, yeah, Sandshrew is a little silly, but Sandslash is great. And it was disappointing for it was disappointing for me, being that like Marowak's my favorite Pokemon, and I didn't really love his Alolan form. Like, I'm never on the you with the stretchy arms bandwagon, but they made his arms super stretchy. They kind of thinned him out, and also the fire and ghost type as opposed to ground and ghost, I just didn't really love him. I don't dislike him. He's still cool, but but Sandslash and Muck to me were the ones that were done right. But yeah, Sandslash, the Alolan is awesome except for the type.
Yeah, I see the reasoning for the steel typing, and I like it. Makes him a little more interesting because I don't think anybody else has that type combo.
I see why. He has two quad weaknesses.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's not a good type combination either.
But I mean, he only has three weaknesses. So I mean, it's like fighting, fire, and ground. So it's like you get hit hard by two of those. But fire's not all that prevalent. It's the fighting that really hurts because you just get Mach punched, and that is not good for you. But at the same time, he's got a million resistances: normal, flying, bug, grass, psychic, ice, dragon, fairy. Doesn't take any damage from poison. And so, in that sense.
In the right predicament, he is doing exceptionally well. It just has to be the right predicament.
Yeah. Well, it's especially with fairy types being introduced, to have Sandslash be a Pokemon that's like, oh wow, Sandslash is doing something, because he's never been good, and he still isn't. But
yeah, I've always had a dream of I loved sandstorm parties. Those are always my favorite weather parties, and I had a sunny day party too, but those aren't as common. It's usually sandstorm or rain dance parties, but I always thought a hailstorm party would be really, really cool. That's something that's not explored enough, but cool Sandslash would do really well in that.
So the cool thing about that is he got Slush Rush.
Yeah.
As a hidden ability. I don't know if that was only in 8th gen, but yeah, Sandslash being able to double his speed, which his speed is awful. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, so he's really awesome. But yeah, so
type.
Yeah, the last type is fairy.
I know what yours is, Matt.
You said what?
I know which one yours is.
Yeah,
there's only 15 fairy Pokemon in the other sling.
I honestly, he might be the only fairy type I like, to be honest. And he didn't originally used to be one, but it's Granbull far and away. I love Granbull.
Yep.
Granbull, Gold and Silver has some of my favorite Pokemon of all time, like Granbull, Magcargo, Lantern. Who am I forgetting? For Alligator. There's somebody I forgot to mention, though. Heracross. And Donphan, those are all. There's so many great Pokemon in that game, but Shuckle's cool. But no, Granbull, I absolutely love Granbull, and I love his origin too because I remember reading a Reddit post actually when they changed Granbull to a fairy type, and I remember being blown away too. I'm like, that's the dumbest thing in the world. Like he's just this bulldog that stands on 2 legs and looks like he's ready to box you. But then I was reading that the origin of him. Or I don't know if it's ever been fully confirmed, but everything points to like he's based off of the Q Sith, which is the same thing that Kate Sith in Final Fantasy is supposed to be based off of. But it's like a mythological dog in Celtic mythology. But it's basically this like grotesque dog that is actually very loving and very like fond of people, but people see it and are kind of afraid of it because it's ugly, and that's what Granbull is supposed to be based off of. And so I always thought that was so cool that they made him like now knowing that he's a fairy type because of that. Because that name Q Sith, however you pronounce that, actually translates to dog fairy. So it makes a lot of sense. But that origin is just so cool to me. And so that just made me love Granbull even more. But he's awesome, man. A
lot of Gen 2 Pokemon had that same kind of origin. Like Sneasel's also based on mythology.
Yeah, and to me, like that's the right way to make a Pokemon is base it off of something cool, not like we were making fun of like Rillaboom. Get it? He's a drummer. Like. To me, that's the way to do it. How, the older Pokemon games used to do it where you're basing it off of, mythology or something interesting, but it's not like a dead giveaway. It's not like, hey, do you get it, guys? Do you get it? He has drums. He's literally playing the drums.
Yeah, some of the newer Pokemon, it's like they, instead of starting from like an animal or an idea or a mythological creature, they're like, this Pokemon has a job. Toxtricity is to set up the sound equipment for Rillaboom's rock show.
Oh my gosh, that's honestly in Toxtricity. It's like you said, like his Gigantamax form is actually cooler to me because he's more like animal like at that point. I actually don't dislike Toxtricity, but it's the Rockstar stuff that just to me makes him more unlikable. Whereas if they got rid of that, and you can kind of tell they're hinting at that, but it's not just this obvious like, hey, you get it. It just feels more gimmicky that way, or how Inteleon's supposed to be a sniper, and it's just like, ugh, give me a break. And Score Bunny's or whatever his last form is a soccer player, like
Cinderace.
Well, it's funny because like some animals are kind of snipers. Like some of them use their venom or use different things to like hit other animals at a distance and daze them to either hunt or defend themselves. So like you can contextualize that, but I feel like with most Pokemon, you have to figure out some sort of reality in which they live in the wild. And Pokemon hasn't always fired on all cylinders with that. Like Voltorb doesn't really fit that bill. Voltorb was created to be like just kind of like a gotcha, a mimic for, in traditional RPG senses, there's like some treasure chests that have teeth and try and attack you. It was the same thing where you'd see a Pokeball, you think it's an item, but actually it's a Voltorb. And so like they haven't always fired on all cylinders with that, but it's like, yeah, you have to imagine some reality in which this thing like lives or does something other than like, just serves this weird purpose where like, you can't tell me that every Rillaboom's a drummer. There's not, so many of them wouldn't be successful.
That's a perfect way of
get
putting
no plates
it.
on their SoundCloud.
Yeah, that's actually a perfect way of putting that. But yeah, that's why I love Granbull, is like it's based off of something that makes total sense, but it's not a dead giveaway either, because I remember when he became a fairy type, I didn't get it at all. I'm like, he literally looks like the antithesis of what I'd picture a fairy to be. But when you think of that dog fairy that was hideous, it's like, oh, okay, now this makes sense, just like Snubbull, because Snubble's kind of gross looking.
Yeah.
But that would be my favorite fairy type. I love Granbull. So what do you have, Austin? I know this is probably hard because fairy came really late.
Yeah, so, well, and in retrospect, I'm looking back, I'm like, I picked Jigglypuff as my favorite normal, but then I forgot about Snorlax, and I love Snorlax. So if I picked Snorlax for my favorite normal, then I would have picked Jigglypuff for my fairy, but we're in the now right now. I can't go back in time and change what happened.
Yeah.
So...
Wigglytuff.
So, Wigglytuff. No, I would say my favorite fairy is Togepi. I just always liked Togepi. So cute. But I'm really hungry right now, so now I want to eat eggs. And I'm also looking at this all creamy Pokemon, and I'm like, man, a bagel with cream cheese sounds really good. So
bagel with all
I just
creamy.
Picture that scene in Shrek
Yeah,
I just picture that scene in Shrek when Fiona sings and the birds blow up, and she's looking at the eggs like she wants to, take care of them or something, and then it just cross dissolves into a scene of the eggs are being fried on a pan.
Yeah. That's pretty much where I'm at right now. So I'm going to say Togepi. I do like Togepi, but I'm going to click away so I'm not getting any hungrier. So
Togepi is really cool.
Yeah, Togepi's, I know it had a big role in the TV show, so, but...
and I just saw Togekiss, and I had no idea that Pokemon even existed. And it kind of blew my mind.
Oh, yeah, Togekiss is like a retroactive 4th generation evolution for it, but...
Is it an evolution to Togetic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh...
And it's it runs the metagame, it seems. I don't know if it's in the metagame like that crazy now. I mean,
it was never good except for that brief time period in Sword and Shield. And now it's going to go back and fade into obscurity because Dynamax isn't allowed again. But no, Togepi was cool because that was the genesis of the thought of introducing eggs as a mechanic into Pokemon. So introducing a mechanic through a Pokemon like that and teasing it in the show like 8 months before the game came out, that's just so cool. That's awesome. And the way that Togepi pops out and looks like I like it a lot. I like that whole evolution chain. I like Togetic and I like Togekiss as well. They're all like super cool Pokemon, just like an egg coming to life.
Yeah.
What do you
see Togetic kind of like absorbs the shell and the shell becomes its body. Like Togepi is wearing a shell. Togetic is the shell. It's such a cool concept.
Yeah, it is.
And Togekiss is just this ridiculous like paragliding egg. It's so dumb and I love it.
Though.
I know, it's so dumb and I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, before it was cool too. You was rocking with it.
What's yours, Trevor?
Trevor.
Yeah, you guys kind of scrolled over it earlier. I really like Morgrem. I think he's really cool. He's my favorite out of that.
Morgrem or Grimmsnarl?
Did you hear what I just said?
Morgrem. Okay.
Yeah, Morgrem. Not Grimmsnarl.
Haven't you people ever heard of?
No, like I like him because just look at that picture. Like his personality is already seeping through, and then the fact that he has his signature move and it's in his description. Like he has a way of like luring people in by getting on all fours, begging to him, and then once they get close enough, he stabs them with his hair. Like false surrender is his like dark type move. It's just really cool. And then once he evolves into Grimmsnarl is cool. I'm like, ugh. I guess, I don't know, I wonder if he's like Samson or something, like, because all this hair, I guess equates to his strength or something that.
That is his hair.
But Grimmsnarl, it's like, and I like the fact that he rivals, like, Machamp and everything. That's cool, but I like Morgrem and his personality and the fact that he had a signature move and he's doing his own thing. Like, I think he's just really cool. I respect Morgrem much more. I do like the Gigantamax version of Grimmsnarl, though. That's something that's boss, right? Like that, whoa, look at that dang right here.
Looks like a Gundam.
I thought you were doing the Cranky Kong. Way.
I'm just saying that thing is boss. That looks like, remember the first boss on the Heartless boss in Kingdom Hearts? That's what he looks like.
He could be in Kingdom Hearts too.
That's a fact. But Grimm's, respect the
Darkless.
Respect the Grimmsnarl, but yeah, I like Morgrim more because he has a personality. I always respect personality and animation and just you standing up and doing your own thing. So
he's fun.
Did I tell you guys what I nicknamed my Impidimp?
What?
No.
Peepers.
Did you name him? Yep. Did you not name him Impa-Simp?
No. It's Peepers because I'm pretty sure it went something like Jeepers Creepers. Where'd you get those peepers?
I like
his peepers are terrifying.
I like Impa-Simp. I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, Impa-Simp is pretty good too.
I forgot what I named mine. Yeah, I like Morgrim. That's my dude right there. And I think the other description of him is like if some people believe that he brings about like the harvest and everything, like double check. Yeah, while with fly cunning, it tries to lure people into the woods. Some people believe it has the power to make crops grow. Yep. So yeah, and you definitely catch him in the woods and Sword and Shield, which is very interesting. That
was my favorite part of Sword and Shield. That forest. I feel like that was the only area that really stood out in Sword and Shield, rather than like this is grass. This is cave. Pour out a drink for the Sword and Shield. All right.
This is what everybody's been waiting for. All right, it's Michael's turn.
Fairy type was so hard for me to decide because I like so many fairies. Like we already talked about Togepi and Togekiss and all those people. I don't think... Azumarill is really up there. Wigglytuff is really up there. I've really bonded with Wigglytuff over Pokemon Go.
Like he knows
personally bonded.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Pokemon. I was playing Pokemon Go in the earliest days, and everybody had a Dragonite that they were throwing in gyms, and to just have this little fairy type, this chubby little rabbit, just like it was great. I like Wigglytuff a lot, but I think my favorite fairy type is, and it's such a slim margin. I can, but I think the one that edges it out is Mawile. From the third generation of games, he's a steel and fairy type, and this is another Pokemon based on mythology. There's like a Japanese myth where there's like this monster lady who has hair that eats people, and so it's like kind of based on that, but in this like cool sort of Venus flytrap sort of way. And it's a terrible Pokemon. You'd never want to use it outside of Mega Evolution, but I really bonded with this Pokemon over my Galax D adventure, and just stuck with it the whole time, even though it was terrible. And I just really grew to like it. It's just kind of one of those cool third gen Pokemon, but yeah, it's that it's got that giant like pincer mouth thing. Like it's cool. I like it. But Fairy's unexpectedly strong type for me.
Oh yeah. I mean, like you said, the Mega Mawile, that thing was uber. That was the best Pokemon in that game. No, you don't buy.
That thing would give you a ride to the local Kroger.
I'm just telling you, like that thing was running a metagame in X and Y, man. It was ridiculous. Like how Mawile went from like way back in the back to being all the way in the front seat. Give me that, because it had that ability, a huge power, which doubled its attack, and it already had 100 in attack, and it knew Sucker Punch, and it knew a physical like fairy move to go with it. So a physical STAB fairy move with 90 power. Yeah, no, it was sweeping up and slapping up everybody, dude. It was nuts.
Sweeping up and slapping up. Well,
that's what they say.
That's our list of favorite Pokemon, 6 hours later.
Yeah, very interesting how a lot of us didn't have crossover. Which is a testament to, like, as much as we give Pokemon slack for some of the designs, all in all, like, they're pretty good at creating some memorable monsters, and I think that's the only thing that's kept them relevant this long. Like, a lot of the other things like this, like Digimon and Yokai Watch, are much more short-lived, because I just feel like the strength of the designs in Pokemon speak for themselves for the most part.
Yeah.
I wish we could delete some, though. If we could delete Buzzwole and Vanillux, And Trevor showed me this one that's like an Ultra Beast clown Pokemon.
I did not know it existed until I saw it.
That's not a Pokemon. That's a figment of my imagination.
Yeah, Ultra Beast. Now that was an example of like, okay,
which I guess they're not technically Pokemon. They're Ultra Beasts, but you know.
Yeah, they kind of are an example of like where Pokemon was going wrong. Like, okay, now you guys have just lost your identity. You know.
Yeah, I feel like that's why they reeled that in real quick, and now the Ultra Beasts are kind of like just this thing that happened one time. Feel that way about the Tapus too. They look like objects, and I know some Pokemon look like objects, but you know. Anyway, rambling here. Apologies.
It was fun.
That's the end of this episode of Cottrello Talks.
Let us know in the comments if you agree with any of our choices. If any of these Pokemon we mentioned are some of your favorites, you know, mention it. Yep. Of course, I don't know if you're watching the show on YouTube or listening to it on podcast services. We don't really have much of a way to write in for the podcast version, but on YouTube, you can drop us a comment of all that stuff. And stay tuned for the next episode of Cottrello Talks, where we won't talk about Pokemon anymore, I promise.